or may not have picked up on this yet, but I'm not the most confident, brave, whoa, hey, look at me, I'm totally the best kind of person. I'm shy and nervous and self-conscious and a mess. There's a lot of bigger, important things that I worry about, but I'm just gonna talk about the stupid ones that'll probably make you think I'm just dumb. Gotta keep it upbeat and entertaining. I can't be creating swirling vortexes of existential crisis and self-doubt. Yet. Judge me if you want, but, I mean, I can't help but be pointlessly freaked out about these things. I'm sure you've got your weird triggers too. Loud flushing toilets. I can't remember a single moment of my life where I haven't been scared of loud flushing toilets. It's just the fact that, especially if you're in a stall, you're locked in this tiny space with this solitary, isolated toilet bowl, and it's always a gamble. Some toilets are really nice and quiet, and they just go... It's the frickin' biggest relief of my day when I think a toilet's gonna pull some ungodly sound out of nowhere, but it turns out to be practically silent. I get overwhelmingly happy. Probably too much to be considered normal anymore. But then there's the ones you flush, and all of a sudden you've just released Satan himself and 1,000 tortured souls from the fiery pits of hell. Just... I go into mental breakdown stage. I can't even move. Have you ever seen the videos of like goats or some other animal where they just freeze and fumble over if they get startled? That's me. But I don't fall down. If I'm in a house where there's a bunch of extra room in the bathroom, I get as far away from it as possible. Immediately. But again, if I'm in a stall, I have to end up just pressing myself against the door as much as I can and wait for it to end. Jaiden, you bimbo, if you're so terrified, why don't you just leave the stall? Well, good sir, have you ever noticed that bathroom stalls tend to mainly open inwards? That means in order to leave, you gotta step closer to the toilet. No thank you. That's the opposite of what I want. I'd rather just be a frozen victim for 10 seconds. Why do factories even make loud flushing toilets anymore? Just make them all quiet. Please? I'm getting tired of pressing that dumb button, and all of a sudden all the Jurassic Park movies start screeching at me at the same time. I'm slowly falling into insanity. Speaking of bathrooms, you know those public hand dryer things? The ones where you have to stick your hands in and it blasts air? I can't do those. I have this image in my head where I put my hands in and then some cyborg future handcuffs lock onto my wrists and I get kidnapped by a hand dryer. Like an evil bathroom transformer waiting for its next human victim. Well, too bad, you dumb hand dryer. You can't fool me. And speaking of hands, I am just on a roll with these transitions today. I'm self-conscious of them. No, I'm not just afraid of hands in general. That's chirophobia. I had to look that up. I have this dumb thing where my hands are always cold. Not just like, oh, your hands are a bit cold. They're frigid. It's so bad that I'm actually very nervous about shaking people's hands or giving high fives just because they're so cold. Whenever you meet someone new, you normally just shake their hand. Well, I don't want to shake their hand if their first impression of me is gonna be, hi, I'm Jaiden. Boom, I'm secretly an ice witch, and you've just been cursed with the power of 1,000,000 ice cubes. How about instead of shaking hands, we just do finger guns? I like that idea much better. Like, we've all been in that situation where you have to say bye to someone, and it's like, well, shoot, am I supposed to shake their hand, or hug them, or whatever other confusing goodbye motion? Just do finger guns. Less confusion. And contact. I'm sure the misophobes can agree with me on that one. And with high fives, normally it's not that bad, but I still try to minimize it to the least amount of physical contact as I can. Someone goes, high five! And I just smack their hand as fast as possible. It's weird and noticeable sometimes, but trust me, I'm doing you a favor. What else can I be stressed about? Time limits in video games. The less amount of time, the worse it is. I just can't stand the feeling of a constant, you better hurry up and complete your mission. You only have a limited amount of thinking time. Every action you do that has no impact on furthering your path is a mistake. You're doing everything wrong and your inevitable punishment is steadily approaching. Even in Mario. I mean, it doesn't affect me too much because the timer is up in the corner and not in your face like some games, and there's typically a lot of time. But as soon as that music gets faster, oh boy, everything just got intense. Oh, I'm in trouble now. Time to sprint. No time to look for secrets or nothing. I'm about to have an aneurysm here. Our lives are a time limit when you think about it. Back when I was a kid, I had this Game Boy Advance SpongeBob game, and for the second level, you had to get SpongeBob to the top of Sandy's treehouse by hopping up branch platforms. But the thing was, there were bird baths scattered around, and you only had a limited amount of time to get to the next bath before SpongeBob dried out. I was so scared of running out of time, I never got past the level. I stood at the bottom, just sitting in the bath, occasionally stepping out only to get extremely panicked to see the time start ticking down and hop back in. I really want to play that game again. I've gotten better at video games since then, and I kinda want to experience the other 95% of that game. Okay, so since I have zero self-control when it comes to video games and nostalgia, I went out and I bought the game. I bought the game again because I wanted to play the level and prove to you that I can beat it. So yeah, I'm just gonna... I have my Game Boy and I'm gonna play the level. Look at this nostalgia though. I haven't played this in how many years? At least 10. Oh my god. What am I doing? This is one of those games where it didn't even save your progress. You had to enter a password. Oh my god, the pressure's on actually. Look at this. It only gives you 20 seconds. What the heck? That's pressure at the max. Alright. Oh, look at SpongeBob. And then you get like the spatulas. People are gonna say, get the- Hey, it's Ari! Thanks, Ari. Should I become a gaming channel? This is totally gaming channel status. Oh no! Just kidding. And, alright, see? Dang. Hot and cold. I don't know what my problem is here. I've just never liked it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Hot and Cold is a game where you try to find something based on audio hints other players give you. Cold means you're farther away. Hot means you're getting closer. So basically, you're walking around aimlessly while other people are screaming at you. That's how my mind interprets it anyway. I can't cope with the constant input from people based on my every action, and it gets worse when I'm getting closer. With every step, people are getting more and more intense at me, and I feel like something's just gonna pop up out of nowhere and... stab me? You're getting warmer. You're hot. You're steaming. You're on fire. You're in a volcano! Stop! You're freaking me out! I can't handle all this intensity! I just want to run away back to the cold area. It's calm over there. It's chill. Last one I'll talk about here. Before YouTube, and even since I was a kid, I've always been self-conscious about my voice. But for different reasons. When I was young, somehow I started believing, wow, my voice is really low compared to other girls. People are gonna think I'm a boy. That one didn't make too much sense. I don't know how I came to that conclusion. I don't believe that one anymore. But recently it's been more of, my voice is weird and awkward and mumbly, and I don't like it. I'm really reserved, so I think since I never did much talking, my voice wasn't able to develop as much and get as strong as it could be. It's funny, when I first started making videos, when I had to sit down and record, which back then only took like 15 minutes, which like, I wish it only took 15 minutes to record audio now. But even after those recording sessions, my throat would hurt and end up being really sore because I wasn't used to talking that much for that long. It was kind of pathetic. But now it takes literally 6 hours to get my audio done, so I've come a long way. I've been swaying back and forth between being self-conscious and just being okay with my voice because I still think it's a bit too mumbly and weird. But I've been reading some comments like, oh, Jaiden, I really like your voice. Which, I mean, thank you. But I don't really see it. But if you enjoy it, then I'm glad. My vocal cords say thank you. Thank you. There's a bunch of other things I wanted to talk about that I didn't get to mention, like phone calls. I can't really handle phone calls. This day and age, people seem to only call if they need something or along that line, and I just think, what do they need? What are they gonna ask me? What if I don't have an answer? What if I waste their time? I don't know what they want from me. The possibilities are endless. Oh my god! And then I end up not picking up the phone. And just freak myself out. Also, eating food in front of people. I know that one's a bit more common, but I'm really, self-aware about that too. I feel like someone's gonna judge me on what I order and how I eat it and other nonsense that practically no one does. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a freak for being nervous about so many things. Maybe I'm not. I don't really know anymore. Talk to you later, bye. I'm doing finger guns.
Hey, just wanted to mention you can buy our new Jaiden anime figure bundle on JaidenAnimations.com. Cool, thank you. Game shows. People's favorite way to fantasize about how to win a lot of money
and look really cool in front of the entire country. Everyone is sat down in front of a good old Deal or No Deal and watched the middle-aged white people pick the obvious wrong cases while Howie Mandel just smiles. And if you were on that show, you could do so much better because lucky case number 24 has never let you down. Well, today I'm gonna live that fantasy and prove how easy it is to actually win money on game shows. With my friends Jordan and Kelsey, we're gonna simulate 3 of America's favorite game shows and see how much money we can collectively win. Let's see how hypothetically rich we could have gotten. The first game we tried was Family Feud. 90% of you guys know Family Feud, and I see you, but for the ones who don't, the show asks 100 random people survey questions, and you have to guess what their most common answers are to get points. I thought this was gonna be easy. Steve Harvey sets you up with a dirty question, you scream naked grandma, and then they give you money. But the moment this poser of a host walked out, I knew I was out of my element.
Ari Tofu family up against the Ari Tofus. Let's play family.
That's not Steve Harvey. The game lets you build your family, and I was just gonna make me and my 2 birds, Ari and Tofu, and randomize the last 2 members. Looking back, I probably should have just made Jordan and Kelsey because they were right there. But somehow the game randomized to Walter White, so we just kind of went with it.
You can see them, like, the stretching.
Walter White!
That's Walter White! It's really him!
That's good.
Look,
That's
it's so good.
The prompt we were given first was, name a president whose face appears on money, to which we buzzed in Lincoln, and the opposing family, the Hortons, answered Roosevelt. And America must have been thinking the same thing I was, which was, wait, Roosevelt is on money? Because we got the higher score and got to keep guessing more answers. We very confidently punched in Washington, which was first, and then realized we didn't have any more guesses. Obama? After 3 strikes of wrong answers, the Hortons buzzed Hamilton, which is stupid because Alexander Hamilton wasn't even a president to begin with. Everyone who experienced 2015 knows that.
Does that mean they steal all the points?
No.
if
Hamilton?
They get it. Well, like the
he wasn't
Alexander.
It's time for you to score some points.
If I know something, Hamilton is not a president.
Like the Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell. No.
They took all the points. BS! Name a president. Alexander Hamilton. Ding, 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 ding. Here's all the points. America is so dense and uneducated, they are literally pumping wrong answers into Family Feud, and I am suffering because of it. Name a fruit. Hot dog. Going into round 2, we were down just a bit at 0 points to 96, but we swept the next prompt. Something that helps a baby go to sleep. Milk. Round 3, hit the fan again. Something you might lose as you get older. We were on a roll with hair, teeth, memory, hearing, and memory. We got a strike because I said parents, and even though that's literally 100% correct, guaranteed, it wasn't on there. There was 1 answer left we needed to figure out, and we came up with vision, which we were very confident in, but received another strike. Flabbergasted. How is hearing on there but not vision? We threw out a half-assed walking, got our last strike, and it was given to the Hortons. Strangely enough, they ended up passing. Guess they couldn't think of anything. But you know what the answer was revealed to be? Eyesight. America is so lucky the Hortons passed on answering, because if they answered eyesight and took all our points again after we said vision, it would have started my villain arc. With a strong point lead of 224 to 96, we are now entering a double points round. What's something people alphabetize? Names. Soup. 4 Americans thought they were being funny in the Family Feud surveys, and I am yet again suffering because of it. So the Hortons can play, but they end up passing again for some reason. That family only alphabetizes soup. We tried music, children, we ran out of ideas and just said soup again. Nothing was right. The answers ended up being address book, files, recipes, lists, and spices. Which spices I beg to differ. There's no way the typical American has curry powder and garam masala in the front. They have salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and everything gets shoved in the back until they die. So now we were on the last round, which was fast money. They give you one last prompt with one answer, and if you guess it, you get the chance to actually win money. Name something that runs on gasoline besides a car. I buzz in with a strong bus, which was incorrect. I'm not wrong though. I see you going to the comments. Google says a bus is a separate vehicle from trucks, cars, vans, lorries, etc. It is not any of them. That's what Google says. Lawnmower. Dude, whatever. All we proved was America's bogging down Family Feud with our stupid wrong answers. I don't want to win that dumb freedom money anyway. With $0 in our pocket, we moved on to The Price is Right. I've actually never watched this game show before, so I was learning as we went. 4 lucky contestants from the audience are given a random item, and the closest one to guess the actual price of it without going over, is selected to come up on stage and play more games to earn money. And I learned that even if I was one of the lucky 4 people selected, I wouldn't even get the chance to be on the actual show. The game gave me 6 chances to be the closest one to the price of the items, and I lost every single one. But hypothetically, even if I miraculously was the winner and taken on stage, I still would have won nothing. I tried twice for content and still ended up with $0. So we're entering our last game show of the day, and we've got a whopping $0 to our name after being on 2 of the most popular shows created. We really need to make this one count, because I am going to look like such an idiot if I was on 3 game shows and came back with 0 money. We walk out on stage. The spotlight finds us. Jeff Foxworthy raises the microphone to his mouth and welcomes us to Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader? The show where you're given trivia children up to grade 5 are taught. Answer them all correctly and we could be leaving the show with $1 million in our pockets. But fail and you're doomed to know you're not smarter than a literal child who has to raise their hand to go to the bathroom. That's Jeff's favorite line to drop when people lose. He says it all the time. It's like his go-to roast. Every couple of questions, you have to pick a child they have provided to help you out. You're given the chance to either peek at their answer or copy their answer, but you can only do those once. They're like your child lifelines. I picked Jeremy as our first little buddy. I liked his enthusiasm, and he gave us a really good high five. The subject we chose was under 4th grade math, and the question was, how many lines of symmetry are found on the following shape? It showed us a picture of a pentagon. I accidentally thought it was a hexagon at first, which was not my finest moment. And then it glitched and never went away. We couldn't get the pentagon to disappear and literally couldn't read the multiple choice answers. Our thoughts were, since we wanted to punch in the answer of 1, yes, I know, another not the finest moment. Look, I was stressed, okay? The pentagon was freaking me out. I wanted to say 1. Surely they would have put the answers in ascending order, A being the smallest number, and D being the highest. So we locked in A, hoping it was 1.
Lock in.
Oh, man.
Locking in. So no!
Let's restart. Let's restart that very pro.
First of all, 7 was completely the opposite of what we were trying to say. Second of all, we wouldn't have been right in the first place. And third of all, Jeremy ended up saving our hides. So besides being able to either peek at or copy your student's answer, if you ever get something wrong but the kid gets it right, you get to be saved and are still in the game. Like the rest of the lifelines, it can only be applied once, and Jeremy was here to be our Pentagon-knowing hero. Anyway, we restarted. That attempt, we weren't counting that one because that was just a practice round, and the forever lasting Pentagon wasn't fair. It messed with our heads. But this one's for real now. Attempt 2 started and was going well. We ended up getting to the 6th question without any problems. But of course, as our luck would have it, we were given another glitched question where they gave us an image, and then we can't read the answers. This time the question was from 4th grade social studies. What is the shape of the following landmark? And then it showed us this. I didn't know what it was called, but Kelsey was sure it was the obelisk, and we could barely see that as answer C. Even though we were 99% sure we should just lock in C, I wanted to play it safe and copy our chosen student Alicia's answer. So we copied her, and Jeff Foxworthy revealed the correct answer, which was C, obelisk. Jordan, Kelsey, and I all celebrated because we were right, but in a very unfortunate turn of events, it was revealed that Alicia punched her answer in as B, pyramid. What, you little... Oh my god. Attempt 3. We really wanted to do one attempt each with the game shows because on national TV you've only got one shot to make your money. But I don't think there's ever been times on Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader where Jeff Foxworthy tapes the obelisk to your face and makes you guess on while you're locking in. This time, I'll say it now, we didn't get any questions where the pictures perpetually blocked the answers. It was all a fair fight, and whatever we win on this try is what we're going with. And it was going well. Really well, in fact. 3rd grade animal science. Which of the following animals has 8 arms? Ha! Octopus. I knew that one. 3rd grade music. A symbol that represents the duration and pitch is also known as what? Musical note. Then we got stuck on 5th grade measurements. 9 meters is how many yards? I don't know that. I am an unfortunate slave to the imperial system. So we decided to copy Juliet's answer, which was 9.8. She was right. We got to move on, even passing the $25,000 benchmark question. That means if we end up flunking out from this point on, we still get to leave with $25K. Solid, but we're going for that million. By the way, I had no idea you could win that much money on this show. They could ask you, what's this? And then you say the color wheel, and then you can walk out with $300,000. That's absolutely bonkers. Anyway, we were getting far. Really far. 50,000, 100,000, 175,000, 300,000. We were still in it. The $500,000 question arrived. 4th grade inventors. Which inventors' improvements to the steam engine were instrumental in starting the Industrial Revolution? We didn't know. None of the choices seemed right, as in, we didn't know who any of them were besides Benjamin Franklin, and I don't think he did that. After a lot of back and forth, we decided to guess on Robert Fulton, which was the wrong answer. We were out. But then we realized we still had hope. We hadn't been saved yet. If the student we chose during this round got it right, we can still keep going. Jordan, Kelsey, and I looked to our side to realize Alicia. The girl who thought this was a pyramid. We're doomed. We had no more child lifelines left. Where was Jeremy when we needed him? She reveals her answer. James Watt. She was right! We were saved! You were just saved by someone who needs to raise their hand to go to the bathroom. Jeff, we made it. We got to the $1 million question. Apparently, they tell you what the subject is gonna be, and if you don't want to take it, you can still walk away with $500,000, which is very generous. But the catch is, it's not multiple choice. You have to submit your answer yourself. Which, being real, if I was really on this show, I would just be like, alright, cool, see ya, and settle on the $500,000. Are you kidding me? That's $500,000. I've proven enough here. I'm going home now. But for the sake of the video, we went all in. The subject was Earth Science. And the question was, what do you call the process of heating water into steam and then cooling it to purify it? To which I was like, I don't know. But miraculously, Jordan knew it.
I might know this.
Fucking,
Oh my god, I don't know this.
That's distillation.
Is
Good
it?
job, babe.
Yeah, right?
How do you spell that?
DIST.
Isn't that what you do to alcohol?
Yeah, ILL. Distill. I'm pretty sure.
It's a better word than I would have said.
I would have said, Jeff, I don't know.
Locking in.
I hope so. I hope.
I hope they're not
sounds
like,
right.
actually it's distillation.
Here's the correct word. Condensation.
Now locked in for the final time.
Oh my God, fingers crossed.
Is on the line.
Everyone
First
in
of
the
all,
audience crossed their
congratulations for
arms at the
getting
same
to the end of the
time.
line.
They're
It's not
pissed.
easy. You will lose $475,000 and walk out of here with
$25,000 is still a juicy
$25,000.
amount.
That's a good amount.
Like, I'd still be happy. Like, very happy.
Me too.
No, I'm sorry.
No?
What?
What is
What
it?
is
I
it?
can't believe what a moron I am.
You're
this
not
is
a
my
moron.
bad.
Show us the
What-
correct answer, please.
I swear to God.
We were right. We were right. We were right. No. We won that million. I don't care what the game says. We won that $1 million fair and square. It's distillation, not distilling. Shut up, Jeff Foxworthy. Go back to making barbecue sauce. So let's see what we made. Family Feud? Nothing. Price is Right? Wouldn't have even made it on stage. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Hypothetically, $1 million. I'm happy with that. Thanks for watching. I wanted to mention again, we're selling a really cool Jaiden anime bundle that includes a new figure, vinyl record with Japanese and English versions of our Rise Above song, Ari cards, stickers. Go to JaidenAnimations.com and follow our shop Twitter at JaidenShop for updates and sneak peeks on what we're working on. Alright, thanks for letting me shill. Bye bye. As of now, Jaiden Animations is officially 10 years old. Yes, I know I technically made the channel in February, but shut up, I don't count that. On July 23rd, 2014, I uploaded my first ever animation to YouTube.
Hey everyone, my name is Jaiden, and welcome.
Alright, that's enough, you get the point. It's kind of old news that a lot of content creators have started retiring, especially after hitting the old 1-0. Making content on YouTube for 10 years has significantly changed the entire trajectory of my life. I started Jaiden Animations when I was 16. At the time, I was super shy, quiet, anxious, knew nothing about the world. I could count the number of friends I had on one finger. But not in a sad way, I liked my simple little life. For the longest time, I didn't even realize YouTube had channels or that people were uploading things like vlogs and series and skits. I mean, it was definitely less established at the time compared to now, but I saw YouTube as just the place to watch funny cats and compilations of people getting hit in the crotch. The way I found out about this whole online world was after coming home from school one day to find my laptop not turning on. Meaning, I couldn't play Minecraft anymore. We've all been there, it's tragic. To satisfy my desperate Minecraft hyperfixation, I typed Minecraft into the YouTube search bar to see if anyone just so happened to upload any Minecraft-related videos. And oh, were there people uploading Minecraft-related videos. My world expanded exponentially at that very moment. YouTube channels, subscribers, people uploading content for an audience that looks forward to their videos. The first channel I ever subscribed to was a Minecraft YouTuber who... I don't even, I'm blanking on the name, but I was now aware of YouTube as an actual community beyond funny fail compilations. Watching videos became a huge part of my day-to-day life. I'd put stuff on when I wanted to relax, laugh, needed background noise. If I was having a tough day, I would lock myself in my bathroom, lay on the floor, and watch videos on my phone, and I'd feel better. Even before making content myself, YouTube was an essential part of my life. I branched out from Minecraft to general gaming videos, even the occasional vlog series, until I stumbled upon a very special video in my suggested feed. An animated story time from a YouTuber called Domix. It was his emails video, I remember it so clearly. After watching it, I immediately binged his whole channel. I loved his animated stories, they made me laugh so much. For the first time ever, I thought to myself, I want to do stuff like that. I want to animate. And around the same time, I was really into Aya's Cupquake's Minecraft Oasis series and had even sent in a few fan arts I drew for her. She posted a couple at the end of her videos, which genuinely made me so extremely happy. I was totally freaking out. Anyway, in one of the episodes, she mentioned that she wanted to find an animator to animate some of her funny Minecraft moments. And suddenly, I saw the stars align in front of me. I sent her a little message attached to another fan art, basically saying, "Hi Cupquake, I'd love to animate for you if you're interested." And she ended up reaching out and was like, "Hey, we love your style and would love to work with you. Do you have an animation portfolio we can look at?" To which I responded with, so I've never actually animated before. But I'm learning, and honestly, they shouldn't have hired me. I wouldn't have hired me. But somehow I had secured my first animation job. And for my favorite YouTuber, this was by far the biggest thing to ever happen to me at the time. I wanted to make the best animation they could ever ask for. Now, I just had to learn how to animate. No joke, I literally typed how to animate and Adobe Flash tutorial into the YouTube search bar. That's how I learned. No class or school or nothing. I vividly remember opening Adobe Flash for the first time and wishing I could just skip forward in time to when I already knew how to even use the program because I was so confused. Humble beginnings, what can I say? And honestly, that's all it takes. People ask me all the time how I learned to animate, how I do this and that, what program to use. But you already have the biggest source of free online information at your fingertips. Just type whatever you want to learn into the search bar and people will literally teach it to you, no strings attached. While working on the animation for Cupquake and her husband Red, I talked to them about how I also wanted to make YouTube videos, that I wanted to animate little stories but was too nervous. They were both really supportive and encouraging, saying they'll put a link to my channel in the description of the animation to help me and stuff. I'll be completely honest, if Cupquake and Red didn't hire me and offer to help give me that initial push to start a YouTube channel, I wouldn't have made Jaiden Animations. Like I mentioned, I was quiet and soft-spoken. I didn't even get picked on because nobody knew anything about me to bully me with. They had nothing. In what world would a tiny little 16-year-old dust mite of a girl feel confident enough to start an animation YouTube channel where she talks about her life? Especially for what would be a single-digit amount of people for who knows how long. I'll tell ya, she does it in a world where she feels encouraged and inspired by the people she looked up to. There's so many timelines where none of this ever happened. So much had to come together just for me to start. And against all odds, it did. I finished the animation, they posted it, and I spent pretty much the entire month reading every single comment. Everyone loved it. It was doing really well. I remember messaging Cupquake a giant soppy thank you paragraph when the video hit 1 million views. By the way, the entire animation was made on only 3 layers because any more would make my brain confused. I genuinely cannot believe they hired me. At the same time, I posted my very first video as Jaiden Animations, introducing myself and announcing that I'm gonna try out making animation videos. It's funny looking back at because if you don't know all the context, you'll watch my first video and be like, who is this dumbass talking to? She just started the channel. There's no audience yet. The shout out Cupquake gave me in the description gave me the boost I needed to shake the second thoughts. I gained 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers right out the gate, and ever since then, I wanted to keep making more content, and I was really excited about it. I made more animations for Cupquake for a couple of years alongside posting my own stupid little videos until eventually parting ways with them to focus entirely on Jaiden Animations. Working with them was amazing, and those animations did overwhelmingly well at the time. Like, I look back and am still shocked. I apparently peaked with that damn 2014 FNAF animation. Come on, Nuzlocke. Surpass it, please. Free me from these shackles. By this time, I was in college now, and even though I wasn't able to post very much at all, things were doing really well. I remember sitting on the top of my dorm bunk, secretly celebrating hitting 100,000 subscribers, a milestone I was beyond thrilled about, and honestly was my biggest goal at the time. Somehow, my roommate ended up finding out about it and immediately told every single person on our floor, which embarrassed the hell out of me. But at the same time, I was sheepishly proud of myself that people thought what I was doing was cool. Along with new experiences, for the first time ever, I was making online friends and becoming part of a growing little animation community. Cypher Den, Tony V Toons, Lightsen. I even stumbled onto James randomly after being recommended his ASMR video. I specifically remember going through his channel and thinking, I can't believe this guy doesn't have more subscribers. He's so funny. And welp, would you look at that. After finishing my first year in college, I ended up talking to my parents about taking a gap year to see where all this YouTube stuff could go. They were, of course, hesitant at first. Making videos on YouTube for money? Can you even do that? But eventually agreed and have been my biggest fans ever since. I was officially doing YouTube full time. I don't really know what happened, but a few months later, James started blowing up. In our little animation group chat, we were like, whoa, James, congrats. What's happening? And he was like, I don't know. Oh my God. And then I started blowing up too. And suddenly the entire Storytime animation community was rising and thriving. It felt like we were strapped onto a rocket heading straight for the stars. People really loved watching Storytime animation. We went to our first ever VidCon and there was a whole line of people that wanted to meet us, which is a crazy experience for our first convention ever. Since then, everything has kind of just been history. I kept posting, obviously, met new people, made incredible friends, started building my own animation team, learned a lot about the world, but most of all, being on YouTube forced me to grow thicker skin. I'm sure most of you can relate to some degree. Mindless hate, online arguments, people nitpicking and speculating that you're actually a horrible human being. Because of how normalized posting content is now with TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, I'm sure everyone has gotten their fair share of the hate hammer, but 10 years ago, it was pretty much only big online personalities who were familiar with it, and it comes at you pretty fast. Suddenly, you have to figure out how to hide your personal information and tell family members to private their Facebook accounts, which they don't know how to do. Scary emails come in, uncomfortable comments, lots of uncomfortable comments. I got doxxed one time because someone speculated I was a narcissistic liar because I claimed to be shy and introverted, but would get loud sometimes when reading scripts. Also, fun fact, I never planned on being public with my full name, but the reason it got leaked is because my old high school published an online article about my channel and dropped the full government without my permission. I'm still pissed about that one. And I know, this is genuinely what you just have to expect when you make content online. It's awful, but it's the truth. I didn't want to quit, so I adapted to the horrible things, awful videos made about me for attention. There's nothing a passerby hate comment can say that could surprise me anymore. If anything, they're all the same and it's just annoying at this point. Not saying I'm happy that I went through all of it and it should have happened. People can be genuinely awful. But I'd like to say I've come out of it all a version of myself that wouldn't have existed otherwise. Not because of all the shitty things, but in spite of them. I've learned how to stand up for myself, grew my confidence, learned how to separate myself from my work and not take comments personally. All things you learn out in the world over time as you grow up. But cranked to 100 and during the most insecure years of a person's life. It was hard, but hey, I'm still here, aren't I? I look back and see my mistakes, bad takes, stupid ideas, regret here and there. It's overwhelmingly stressful to grow up and learn and change while in the public's eye. Even more now than ever. But all things considered, I believe I was always trying my best in the position I was in. Was constantly trying to be the best person I could be. And I won't ever be upset at myself for that. Also, I do want to say a big thing that's followed me throughout almost my whole career at this point is the fact that yeah, I've talked about mental health and things I've struggled with at the time, like anxiety, depression, rock bottom confidence, etc., etc. I've definitely spilled my guts out on the floor in front of the internet a couple times in my day, and there's no part of me that regrets it at all. A lot of people have told me that they felt more understood or learned things about themselves through those videos, but as a now adult that's had the time to grow and adapt and overcome these things, man, you guys kind of still think I'm a little bit pathetic. I see comments all the time when I'm in my friends' videos or being involved in a big event, and so many people go, wow, I can't believe how far Jaiden's come from being this puny little scared teenager. I'm so proud of Jaiden really stepping out of her comfort zone here. She is just so brave for showing her face after dealing with such low confidence. That one's always funny because it can definitely come off like I should still be self-conscious, which I'm not, by the way. I get what those comments are saying. I really do. But guys, not everything I do has to be brave. I'm just doing fun things with friends on camera. We don't need the 24/7 Jaiden cheer squad busting out the trophies and medallions every single time. And we also don't need the Jaiden defense squad scrapping with anyone that says anything non-positive about me. It's the internet. People have the right to not like me for whatever reason. I promise, it's okay. I'm an adult. I'm doing fine. I appreciate the concern. At this point, it just comes across like I'm very pathetic pathetic and puny and can't do anything. Now, somehow, a decade has passed. I'm not the tiny, small 16-year-old who's afraid of everything and can't talk out loud for more than 15 minutes without straining her throat. That's true, by the way. I spent 15 minutes recording audio for my first video and my throat was dead afterwards. It was pathetic. Now I can record for an hour, which still hurts my throat. You can probably hear it, but that's a 400% improvement right there. I'm 26, created hundreds of hours worth of content, have the most wonderful team in the world behind me, am surrounded by amazing friends, live with the most important person in my life, with the most important little creatures in my life. I've gotten to meet content creators I've looked up to, got to tour and travel the world with talented friends, talk on panels to hundreds of people who wanted to hear what I had to say, been able to tell the people that inspired me how big of a role they've played in my career, and even got to stand next to them as an equal. I'm happy. Sure, it's always been and still is difficult dealing with the stress of being in a big spotlight. I went through some bad stuff, navigated rocky mental health, trusted people that hurt me, had to pretend not to be affected by things that were genuinely hurtful just to not empower people that wanted to see me break, all while in the eye of the public where one wrong step could crumble everything I've ever created. But I'm really happy with the place I'm at, the person I've become, and the environment I've built around me. So, what's that leave me with now? A full decade, man. Damn. 10 years of the most difficult, enjoyable, terrifying, exciting, stressful, grateful, soul-crushing, unforgettably special moments of my life. How lucky and grateful I am to have the privilege to say I've gotten to experience so many impossible things, to have so many dreams created and come true, to see myself persist through such a difficult position to be in. After taking a lot of time reminiscing and thinking about what could come next, the direction I want to take to follow what could keep making me happy, I've come to accept that YouTube isn't gonna be part of it. I'm happy with what I've accomplished. I had my rise and grind years. I experienced real and true passion. That's all I could really ask for here. There's not much else I want to do beyond it at this point. But before you freak out, I'm not quitting right this moment. I still absolutely love making content and still have the desire to keep making videos. But my YouTube years are numbered now. I fantasize about logging off as Jaiden Animations and becoming a normal person again. I want to move to a random-ass town in a random-ass place, have a little house with my creatures, have a normal job with normal hours and normal problems, live a life where people don't know who I am before I introduce myself. Not saying I don't like being recognized. You can come up to me, I promise, I don't mind. But eventually I just want to feel like a person again. Normal is rapidly changing nowadays, but I don't want this chronically online lifestyle forever. How nice it would feel to one day not have to triple check every single thing I say in fear of people's pitchforks, or fear for my safety when people maliciously leak my private information, or even be constantly surrounded by strangers' opinions on me and every version of myself I've ever been, every moment of my life. I hold it all together pretty well, I'd say. I mean, it's my job to. And none of these negatives have and ever will outweigh the positive aspects of this incredible opportunity that you guys have allowed me to have. I don't want to come across like I'm complaining. I very much understand this is just unfortunately part of it all, and I'm very privileged and very grateful. But I can't do it forever. And I don't want to. I want to feel like I have the time and mental energy to pursue new hobbies, experiment with other things that can make me happy. Making content for YouTube never leaves my head. It's the case for every single content creator on the platform. There's no clocking out, there's no weekends, there's no breaks. You can't just leave an office and not think about it. You're constantly brainstorming ideas, managing everything, schedules, employees. Sure, you can work and live anywhere you want, go on vacation at any point, build your own schedule, but it's always there. Like a black hole in your mind. It's just so exhausting. I haven't felt like I can sit back and enjoy something in 10 years because I simply do not have the time if it isn't for a video. Yeah, that's just how self-employment works, but don't forget about all the other fun stuff I've already mentioned on top of it all. I don't know what I want to do career-wise after retiring from YouTube, but I romanticize the idea of just getting to rediscover myself. Maybe I want to learn how to make custom plushes and open my own little shop, take art commissions, be a teacher, maybe an art director. It's gotten to the point where I think about that little life every day, and I'm actively aiming and walking towards it with every decision I make. Oh, let me tell you, I genuinely cannot wait to live it one day. But there's this other side of me that's so terrified. I've spent my entire young adult life in front of an audience doing pretty much one thing. I don't know what it's like to live without a platform, surrounded by a huge audience anymore. It scares me, like a lot. I don't want to need this, but I'm scared that I do. In some way. When the time comes, I'll definitely work on that fear in therapy or something, but I do think about it a lot. I'm not done with YouTube just yet. I still want to make animations and tell stories, animate little gaming videos. I still just love it so much, and I'm not going away just yet. Sorry to disappoint some of you. I just wanted to let you guys know how grateful I am that you've helped me be right here. I've gotten to meet hundreds of people who told me how much they liked my videos, felt inspired, discovered something about themselves, even did something as small as laugh at one of my stupid ass jokes. I can't wrap my head around the idea that a lot of you grew up watching my videos and are like functioning people in society now. That one always feels like, I know you're not calling me old, but you're calling me old. I'm grateful for all the art people have drawn for me. Even now, it's still so surreal. From the cute little doodles from kids to jaw-dropping, fully rendered pieces from artists of all ages. Like, you guys are better artists than me at this point. What do you mean I inspired you? Why does my art look like that then? The whole reason I show fan art at the end of my videos is because I look back at the feeling I got when Cupquake put my art in her videos, and I want to be able to give that back to other artists. People have told me they watch my videos to laugh, listen to while working, to feel better after a crummy day. All the ways I used to consume YouTube back in my day. Even though it's easy for me to tell myself, they're just little stupid videos I make. What's the big deal? It kind of also feels like I get to contribute to a cycle I used to be on the other side of and pay it back. I don't know, it just feels good knowing I've made stuff that's made people feel better in a way that other content creators used to make me feel better. I've rambled quite a bit, but thank you for letting me make these silly videos for 10 years. I never would have thought any of this could have happened to little old me, and definitely not for this long. I absolutely thought I would have been tossed aside and forgotten by now. I look back at when things were starting to roll, and I was like, I've got like a 3-year shelf life left. I'm forever grateful for you, my friends, my family, my team. I don't know what my life would have looked like if I didn't type Minecraft into the YouTube search bar when I was 14. Who knows how much more time we have with each other, but just know it has been and still is an honor to be here. And until then, I'll be doing my best to keep doing what I've been doing for 10 years and just make these silly little animations. You know, the timing is a little awkward to have just won a giant MrBeast YouTuber challenge that put a lot of eyes on my channel, only for the first thing for me to put out since winning is me talking about how I'm really tired and want to retire one day. That was not intentional, I'm sorry. But yes, the next video coming out will be about me winning the MrBeast Cube. We're still working on getting the money all set up to be given away, so you can stop emailing me asking for money. It's not gonna work like that. Anyway, thank you to everyone who's been with me at any point of my YouTube career. I've still got a little bit more juice left in the tank. I'm forever lucky to have lived the life I have and to continue living that life. And I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I'm excited to spend a bit more time with you all. So, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
I grew up only wanting to watch cartoons for the most part. I never tried to drift into other shows or movies with real people and actors. Normally, if something had actual humans in it, my 7-year-old self would be like, real people? No thanks, Bourville. I don't want to watch anything unless there's mutant super children who are birthed from a crockpot. I like to believe I'm a really open-minded person now. I don't just blow things off like that. I generally don't feel like I have the right to judge or have a strong opinion on anything unless I've researched and tried to understand every aspect of it first. That way I can use all the facts to come to my overall standpoint. It's easy to hear just one detail about something and jump to a conclusion. People form opinions based on their personal values and beliefs, but only knowing certain details can change things instantly. Here's an example. Judy saw Ron push her dog. Wow, what the heck? Ron's some rotten dog hater. Frick Ron, dude. Now hold on a sec. It's easy to believe that, but actually, Ron pushed Judy's dog because the dog attacked his child, and Ron was only protecting his kid. Whoa, really? Judy needs to put her dog down. It's a hazard to everyone around it, attacking kids and crap. I can't believe she'd be okay with owning a rabid dog. She probably didn't take care of it. Judy's a horrible dog owner. Okay. Untamed dogs are a safety problem for sure, especially around children. But you didn't realize the dog only attacked Ron's child because they were teasing the dog with an ice cream cone and the dog just jumped up onto him wanting a taste. Well then, it's the dumb kid's fault for— I'll cut off the story here because I could add so many more layers to it. But you see how quickly your views can change if you don't know all the details to something? At every new point, the resulting opinion wasn't necessarily wrong or incorrect, although I made them extreme for emphasis, because you were forming a standpoint based on the only information you had. But yeah, that's my tip for the day. Look more into things and do research before you make a super strong opinion on something. This whole video got way off track real quick. I'm gonna go back to talking about what I was gonna talk about in the first place. So TV. Once I got older, I still mainly only watch cartoons. But I've developed an extreme love for documentaries. You don't even realize you can be interested in something you never even realized you didn't care about until you watch a documentary about it. Like one time my best friend Kate and I sat down and watched one about the voice and puppet actor behind Elmo. It was mesmerizing. Totally random. You'd never even think about wanting to learn about something like that, unless it's like 4 a.m. and you're in that weird fever dream phase. I think it's funny when documentaries go all cinematic with their shots. Like when the main guy's walking, looking off into the distance, on a journey, one man versus the world. People never understand him. It's not a phase. He'll show them all. Because I can only imagine how awkward it is to set up those shots. First, the cameraman has to walk like a quarter mile away while the main guy just waits there, or vice versa. Next, he has to signal he's ready for the guy to start walking. Maybe through cell phone, maybe walkie-talkie. I think it's more funny to imagine he just screams at the top of his lungs and freaks out the civilians around him. Then the guy starts walking, looking at the scenery around him, acting like he isn't being filmed from 1,300 feet away for his documentary that's gonna change the world. By the way, I don't know how anyone can walk normally when they tell themselves to. Once you tell yourself, do something normally, you pretty much just increase your chances of screwing it up by 90%. One time I was walking across the bottom of some bleachers and I told myself, there's a lot of people I'm in plain view of right now. Don't make a scene. Just walk normally. They aren't paying attention to you. You're just some random person. And I tripped over a trash can. Anyway, there's probably other more efficient ways to get the shots. I'm not some documentary camera director, but it's still less inspirational and more amusing when you think about taking away the music and voiceovers to imagine what it was really like to just get the base footage. Same with reality TV shows. Kate's older sister was accepted onto a singing show once. I don't want to get into possible legal trouble by saying which one because they had to sign contracts and stuff. But she said that when they were filming their parents to portray the, oh, we're so proud of her for following her dreams kind of clip, they had Kate and her brother in the background to make it look all casual. They told them to just look like you're talking to each other while we film the foreground. So we can talk about anything and no one would know. Watermelon, 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 water. I'm not big on most reality TV shows because as real as they might be, some are completely set up, some aren't. They're all dramatically enhanced to some degree. And there's a point where you start noticing, and it's hard to take anything seriously after that. What I find the most amusing are the sound effects and how crazy they are. I've been obsessed with watching Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares show, so I'm gonna use those as examples because I've watched so many.
Why are you so stubborn?
I'm not stubborn.
It's like no one's striving to be better. You tell me how you feel about the frozen food.
I hate it. Made yesterday? It was actually made 3 weeks ago.
Was salad?
That was quick.
Not bad.
Thank you, my darling.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Jesus.
This one is
natural with white cheddar.
Oh, this is award-winning.
Yeah.
Great. And why is the fillet butterflied like that and cut like that?
He cuts it off and then pounds it thin.
He beats the crap out of a fillet to tenderize it when it's the most stunning cut. Wow. You're still yawning.
Doesn't look too appetizing.
It doesn't look appetizing at all, no.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Did you catch that one? Does that sound familiar? Kitchen Nightmares uses the same sound effect of some kid butchering the recorder as the pigeon documentary I talked about in my thesaurus video. Is there some, like, YouTube music library, but for documentaries we don't know about? Hey, Craig, what's the sound effect you used 43 minutes, 8 seconds into your Rubber Ducks documentary? Oh, it's Maracas_05. Ah, thanks. Yeah, I tried Maracas_02, but it didn't have the exact effect I was going for. In the UK, they don't use nearly the amount of dramatic sounds American shows use. Just look at this old clip from the UK version of A Kitchen Nightmares.
Does this make you feel better shouting in front of the blue screen?
I'm not shouting in front of anybody.
Is that you have to show off?
How bloody
Don't be stupid. Don't be so stupid.
No over-the-top dramatic crap? It's almost pure. Here, I'll fix it American style.
In front of anybody.
You have to show off.
How bloody
Don't be so stupid.
Putting everything aside here, I freaking really love all of Gordon Ramsay's shows. I have a problem. I've watched, like, all of the Kitchen Nightmares. I love MasterChef. I love Hell's Kitchen. I love Hotel Hell, even though I've only seen, like, 1 or 2. I haven't watched Gordon Behind Bars yet, but I still love it. I've never had the answer to this before, but if someone came up and asked me, who's your favorite celebrity? I think I'd have to say Gordon Ramsay. Ironic, considering he's a chef and I don't eat the standard American diet. But he's a really great person from what I've gathered. Someone might think, oh, he's just a big jerk who yells at people. No, you've got to look deeper than that. Where is your character analysis? He's a genuinely great guy who's passionate and takes pride in what he does. He's not cocky or arrogant. He's always willing to learn more, and how this turned into me talking about how great Gordon Ramsay is. Gordon, you're welcome for sticking up for you. Even though you can obviously handle it yourself. Anyway, I've gotten off track enough in this video. If you're ever bored, I recommend just binging the whole Kitchen Nightmares YouTube channel. They've got, like, one of the funniest comment section communities on the entire YouTube platform. Shout out to Kitchen Nightmares and Gordon Ramsay. If you ever see this, I love all your stuff and you're considered my favorite celebrity, I guess, now. I don't know. You know, I've never given shoutouts or anything like this before, and it's a bit funny the first one I'm doing out of all the people is to Kitchen Nightmares and Gordon Ramsay. How about, yeah, let's end the video with a shout out from the comment section. Yeah! Let's see, this person said to give a shout out to me. Alright, big ol' shout out to me, everyone. Okay, no more shout outs, so don't ask me. Bye. Just because I know there's gonna be some people out there who are gonna be like, Jaiden, you said you don't like reality shows because they can be staged or exaggerated, but then you say you like all these Gordon Ramsay shows. What the heck? Yeah, I normally am not a fan of reality shows, but I like these ones, okay? I can accept the fact it may or may not be dramatically enhanced and still enjoy it. So, also, by the way, since you're here, my buddy Ryder, or Foot of a Ferret, made a brief history of me, so you should check that out. He's a cool dude. Sorry if this sounds weird. My wisdom teeth are like, hey, we're gonna rip through your gums right now, and I'm in excruciating pain and can barely move my jaw. I've been putting off scheduling an appointment for the dentist to rip them out because I didn't want to be in pain recovering for a week. But here we are, man. Irony, am I right? Lesson learned. Teeth are jerks. Why can't they just cooperate with the rest of your body? Like, my arm never decides, hey, we're gonna grow another finger, because it freaking knows I don't need another one. This is a group body effort, teeth. Stop bringing down the team. Also, see you at VidCon Europe. Let's start off being honest right off the bat. I have no idea what this video is. I just had a random idea in my head. What if I tried to make a video that has literally no point to it? So here we are. Over the course of like a month or two, I started jotting down some of the random things that have crossed my brain and stuff along that line. Not the kind that are philosophical or have a deeper meaning, just the stupid ones. This video might change the way you view me as a person. Whatever, I don't care. Let's get started. I was going through my phone contacts the other week, and I was like, you know what? I want to get rid of the people I don't really need to have in here. Some contact spring cleaning. So I started deleting people I've never talked to, and the further in I got, the more I was thinking, who are these people? Where'd they even come from? Jacob Acorn? I've never met a Jacob Acorn before, the frick? And then there'd be people where I only added their first name. Ashley, I'm assuming Newberry? Yeah, delete. I don't talk to her. Ooh, wait, wrong Ashley. Well, I accidentally just permanently erased some other Ashley from my life. Also, that whole process made me realize I have way less friends than I thought I did. Like, I didn't have too many to begin with, but I deleted a lot more people than I thought I would, and my contact list is far smaller than it was before. What if dogs were the humans of the earth? Like, instead of a human society, it was dogs. What would they create? Would they build a government? What would their education system be? Would they create dog hobbies and dog sports? I'm not talking about the typical throwing frisbees and tennis balls. Maybe they'd create a game where they wear face harnesses with a scoop that can hold a ball, and they have to toss the ball into a hole on opposite sides of the court, each hole providing a different amount of points depending on its difficulty. Kind of like soccer or football combined with basketball. And there's teams, so they need to strategize and work together to win against the other dogs. Would they create art and music and invent things? Do they have passions that we couldn't think of? Like, if humans were just a wild animal, it would be much harder for us to realize that, say, playing a saxophone was your passion, because, wild animals can't invent saxophones, silly. So you'd never discover that side of yourself. But what if dogs could discover their passions and creative sides like humans? I'd want to go to a dog art museum and see what kind of art they'd make. Aren't you curious? If dogs had the intelligence and creativity of humans, what would they do with it? Could they run Earth better than we are? In a weird way, I'd kinda hope so. In horror movies, why is it always the piano that's the haunted, pretentious, scary instrument? I've seen the scenarios where pianos play themselves, the keys are smashed down to make a really ugly sound, maybe the occasional lid will slam down and kill someone. Is it because people see them as elegant yet ominous at the same time, setting up a good atmosphere? I want to watch a horror movie where instead of walking into a big empty room with a haunted grand piano in the center, a character walks into a big empty room and sees a ghost playing. I'd be much more engaged in a movie like that. Just saying. Why does nobody talk about half-popped popcorn kernels? They're just as good as the full-popped ones. After you've consumed 97% of your popcorn, you get to the kernels at the bottom, and instead of throwing them all away, you should crunch on the ones that are semi-popped. Heck! If you don't eat the half-popped kernels, you're missing out on some of the best things in life. One time I was at the grocery store getting groceries. Yeah, great script right in there, Jaiden. That was poetic. And at the checkout, I could tell the cashier was new at her job. Not like she was doing everything wrong, but you could see she didn't have the fluid motion down of a professional grocery store scanner. Those people have it down like it's an art form. It's beautiful in a strange way. So she was scanning the things, and she got to the cilantro. You probably know this, but you can't just put a barcode sticker on cilantro. I think some stores will wrap a tag around it, but the place I was at just had a serial code that the cashier had to manually punch in. So the girl was flipping through the book that had all the serial codes in it, and she couldn't find the cilantro code. I've never mentally connected so much with a stranger before, because I knew exactly what was going on in her head. She was trying to quickly find the code because she didn't want to feel like she was taking up time by being slow, but in the stress of trying to quickly find the cilantro, her brain was getting frantic, which made her gradually start internally freaking out even more because she felt like she was taking way too much time trying to find the code, repeat cycle getting more and more intense every time, and maybe after a minute of her trying to find the code, she just silently put the cilantro in the bag. She gave me free cilantro out of panic. It was a good day. Also, did you know there's a website dedicated to hating cilantro? www.ihatecilantro.com. They write haikus. Stressing about a close deadline is kind of relaxing in a sociopathic kind of way. We've all done it. You procrastinated a bunch on a project and are in the phase of crap, because it's due tomorrow and it's already 10:45 p.m. and you've only got like 0% done. But if you think about it, it's kind of nice to see it as, well, I'm totally stressed and panicked out of my mind right now and would rather just self-implode. But this feeling is only gonna last for a few more hours, since the deadline's so close. If you didn't wait until the last minute, it would have been a less intense but drawn out feeling of dread while working, versus this approach, which even though is 10 times more mentally and emotionally draining and likely very bad for your health, only has to last for like one day, maybe even 12 hours if you really push it. So pick your battles. But don't say I told you which one to choose. I'm not responsible for any crummy projects you haphazardly spit out. That's still you. My parents' house had really big windows in the living room, and sometimes birds would fly into them. Most often, hummingbirds. Whenever one did, I would go outside to where it landed, and if it didn't die from slamming headfirst into a window, I would pick it up and help it calm down and recover from being stunned. A lot of people would probably say not to do that because it's a wild bird that can have wild bird diseases, and they're probably right. But imagine if you did that with humans. Some kid is outside running around, they blindly run right into a tree and collapse on the ground. You run over to help them, and when you get to them, you go, sorry kid, you've got a cold. Can't help you out, buddy. Also, are you envious that I've gotten to hold a hummingbird before? One even fluttered around me when it recovered. I'm a bird master. Like I said in the beginning, I was jotting all these down over a relatively long period of time, so I didn't just write all these in one go. And after looking at the list I made, I realized I wrote half-popped popcorn 2 separate times at different occasions. I guess past Jaiden just felt extremely compelled to talk about half-popped popcorn. It is really good, though. Why do kids on the internet feel the need to tell their age so frequently? You see it all the time. I'm 13. I'm 6. I'm 2. Is there a reason they do it? Do they think it's vital information they need to convey? Whenever I see a comment that starts with, I'm 9, and my brain kinda automatically writes off whatever they're about to complain about, I'm not saying people these ages don't say anything valuable to me. I really enjoy seeing, I'm 6 and really liked your video, because then it feels like that message was written with full child pureness. You know the kind. They're still innocent beings that haven't experienced the cruelness of reality yet, but any other time, it's just a detail that adds nothing else to their statement. One time I got an email that said, I love your vids, I'm 7. So I responded with, thanks. I'm 19. Do they feel like they're obligated to express their age? Do they think they're asserting dominance? Is it an accomplishment to them? More mysteries I have yet to find out. I'm not gonna lie, I won't lie, this is definitely... No, this video was really fun to make. It was so different and experimental and all over the place. I don't know, I just had so much fun making it. I was thinking about doing a video like this for a while, just like little random topics that aren't enough to make an entire video about on their own. I haven't seen anyone else do this kind of thing before either. I could be wrong. Maybe there's like hundreds of people who already made videos like this before and I'm not being creative at all. If so, then okay, whatever. Again, it was pretty experimental and just, I don't know, I kind of like the chaos and unpredictability of it. If you liked this format, I'd totally be down to make another one sometime. But if you're like, wow, Jaiden, this was the suckiest video that ever sucked, then I probably won't make another. That wouldn't be a smart move on my part. Well, I had fun. And that's all that matters. Also, see you at VidCon. Koa. Hello everyone! So today we have a very special video. We just hit freaking 100,000 subscribers. What? And obviously we have to do something special. So I was digging through my closet a couple weeks ago and I stumbled upon some extremely old, very cringe-worthy drawings from when I was like tiny Jaiden to slightly teenager Jaiden. So I thought that maybe we could go through them and laugh at how horrible I was. And also Kate's here. Hello! So let's get through this. So obviously here, I was writing a... my mom wrote like the age of most of these. Oh, I was 7 when I drew this.
But the bird though, that's pretty good.
Yeah, the bird. Superman stance.
And like the
and then my
legs.
snake eyes. And this fashion sense right here.
Half blue, half pink.
I was like obsessed with stickers when I was little, so
I remember
like,
you were.
I would just have whatever stickers I could find and then just draw around them. We have the sun here, and they're all helping pull all my dogs on this leash that's defying gravity. And so are the clouds, and they have very inspirational quotes.
Do it! Just do it!
I was 7 here too.
Oh, I remember you had a stuffed animal. And
Yeah,
then you had this house.
I was obsessed with stuffed animals. And I drew, I was inspired by my animals. So I always drew. I don't know.
This?
I have no idea. Satellite dish.
It's a little dangerous.
I don't know. There's like a scorpion falling down. And I don't know if he's dying or he's Scorpion Jesus walking across the water. But it's funny because I remember drawing like most of these when I was little. So it's like nostalgia fest everywhere.
Oh my god. Is this Squidward? He's like, is he on his hat? What the heck? Oh no, that's not a comfortable place to be sitting.
So we have this beautiful masterpiece of SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs over here. And the whole scenery and Squidward's situation. Another SpongeBob. This one's a little bit more action-packed.
Oh my god, Sandy looks like a dinosaur.
Sandy the dinosaur. Sandy... What?
Water
Sandy.
out for clouds?
Sandy, water out for clouds. Sandy, watch out for clouds.
Oh.
And then Sandy
With
is
an
up
E.
here.
How old?
How old? Oh, on the back it said Happy Halloween. Sorry if it's like not in the camera view. We're just, yeah. So I was 7 back here too. Obviously a child artist prodigy.
Oh, that cat.
This one's from you, Kate.
Oh
Look.
my gosh.
She wrote her name so tiny on
That's really small.
Look how beautiful.
Our hands and our arms are just greatly placed.
Beautiful cat growing from the ground.
What in the world is that? It's like a ghost sheepdog. Was this a big mouse?
I have no idea. I like the clouds, the expression on the clouds. Oh! Oh! This is I remember when I was really little, I had like an obsession with making books, and Scruffy was my old dog. So this is a Scruffy pop-out book with staples on the side, the best quality. So, so now we have like an accordion, that's what they call it. Pop-out book. Can you see that pop-out? That is phenomenal. And again with the title, Scruffy Pop-Out Book, just in case you missed it. Oh, so we have Doghouse, In-house.
Dog in the house.
With that amazing 3D pop-out. Next page.
Oh.
Doing a handstand.
Layer.
And then I felt the need to label every single part of his body. Oh, this is like showing the leg. So ear, leg, eye, leg, tail, and leg. And that is my first book that I've ever published. This is another one from Kate. Oh, look how tall the flowers are compared to us.
We look like we're like crazed.
And then, thank you for being my friend from Kate to Jaiden. We were actually, you guys probably don't know this, but we've known each other since we were 4. I would always do this type of thing where I drew something and then I'd like feel the need to color it in with multiple colors. And look at this spacing. Jaiden and Kate. I don't know what this one is. I'm like
She's
climbing
going up the stairs
with her basket.
That's pretty cool.
To Mom, Dad, Scruffy, and Jackson. I like how I put my dog in front of my own brother.
Oh, this one's not too bad.
I don't know what's going on in this picture here.
They're all like angry about these
very emotional clouds after this cheetah family and their little babies. Oh, he's saying, Chewie did it. And then he's like,
oh, the sun.
I did it.
What did they
He's
do?
the sharp teeth. I have no idea. This is my old wish list from when I was little.
God.
Like whenever we had like Christmas, and we didn't just like we had 3 things to ask for. 3 wishes for the world, 3 wishes for the family, and for myself. So obviously here, I was asking for a gym mat, a SpongeBob game, which is like those really old school plug and play games, and then some drawing books. But also, in the wishes for the world, I said, never fitting.
Fighting.
Oh, never fighting.
Everyone stays healthy.
Everyone stays healthy. Everyone stays happy on Earth.
Oh, that's very good, Jaiden.
I was such a giving child. For family, I put everyone loves each other.
Eat each other. Everyone eats each other.
Everyone says, "Oh wow, I was really wanting everyone to stay healthy." Again with
You're
the Chewy
obsessed
stuff.
with Chewy.
This is like some rainbow power here. Also, I remember doing that. I'd also like put my name in the corner and then highlight it with a color.
Make sure everyone knows you did it.
Yeah. No one steal this original artwork.
Oh, you're 8 now.
I was
so
8.
You're getting better.
I was improving. I don't think this is mine.
This one's my favorite.
But here's Otis and
Otis.
Froggy and Steve and Pecker. And this guy is saying hi. Oh dear. So it says in bold words, "To Mommy and Dad from Jaiden." And I have a cat, a pet cat, that I can't have in real life because I'm allergic. And also, I have these wonderful double pants going on. I would like fold my drawings in the most ridiculous tiny squarish ways. So like I like deliver it to the person and be like, "Look here, I drew this thing," and it's like origami tiny miniature square. Oh, well, this is when we went to church. It is Christmas Eve. We are at church in Mommy and Daddy's room. And Scruffy's at home.
Alright.
So here's Scruffy, and then here's church with loudspeakers or windmills.
Those are scary.
And I remember like drawing these hands like this is like 3 pointers. This is again at church, but I remember like you'd have to like draw. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh my god. Okay, so like doing a hand thing, and then my friend like reached over my hand and like dotted her marker on my paper, and I was like, "No, don't do that." So I scribbled it out, and then she kept doing it, and then I kept scribbling it out.
Oh my god.
This is from Kate.
That's a scary bunny.
Oh my gosh. I actually still have this stuffed animal. Let me go get it. There he is. You can see the attention to detail that I had in here. And then again with the bird who's just flying without having to
I
fly.
think that one's better. Good job. Oh, there he is again.
Oh, here he is again, yeah. And then it looks like we're on top of
Graves.
gravestones.
Oh my god.
With my
Yay,
very long
we're-
legs.
Somebody died. Who's that?
Here's Jax.
He doesn't get to stand on a grave.
He gets to stand on the grass. Here's another one. And I drew the sun underneath the sky. The
Another bird.
What if this is how I drew myself, like, on this channel? Hello, everyone!
That's good.
Oh god. And I was 10 here.
Yeah.
2007. Okay, so, excuse me while I cringe a bit. I also like making my own little characters.
Oh, I did too. I remember that.
Yeah, so this was Saturn the Bat, and he had 2 different colored wings, which made him very special.
Oh my gosh, I remember these characters. I remember looking at them being like, "Oh my god, that's so good."
This was Steve. This was like, I made like 10 tiny books out of him. And this is probably one of the first characters that I ever made. This is a stick man called Iggy, and I would like play around with making expressions with just eyes. And then here are my characters. The 3 that you just saw, and then 2 others. And then here they all are dancing.
This is good. I like this one.
Okay, so I remember thinking when I was little, I'm gonna draw all the Animal Crossing characters in the whole game and their house.
God.
And that didn't last very long because I only did 1.
Oh, you wanted this bird.
I've wanted this bird. I still want a bird, but not this one. Where's his other leg?
I know, that's what I was wondering, actually.
I was very proud of the branch that he was sitting on.
Yeah, it's a good branch.
No, it's not.
Oh, this one's good. How old were you?
I was like on a bird craze. I think I drew this at the same time as the other one.
It's a good one.
Yeah. This is a cockatiel. It's okay. The legs are kind of wonky. This is how I used to draw birds. It was like my own style of drawing birds. Here's like an example of my comic book that I would like draw comics all the time. So there's an alien and he somehow gets transported into Earth. He's like, "Oh no, I need to get back to my old planet. Oh no." And then there's a human.
You look cool.
You look so cool. And he's like, "No." And then so he's like, "Oh, I need to go back to my old planet." And then the human is like tagging along. And he's like, "No, you can't come with me." And then apparently she does anyway.
And he has to let her, I guess.
And something bad happens and he kicks a tree. And then he finds the portal and he goes back home.
To his computer. Good.
Yay.
Good ending.
Most of society. And let me also point out that I had 2 other ones like this.
Oh my god.
And they were exactly the same story.
Really?
Just with different characters.
Oh my gosh.
I remember doing this in an art class. I drew mice all the time. And I was 10 here. We're getting older. I think the, thing of the project was to use a bunch of different patterns and write your name. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I think this was for
Looks like his circulation got cut off in certain places.
This was art class in 6th grade. And she's like, okay, draw a castle. And I was like,
That's a good one.
And then there's I always had something funny going on in the picture. So there's a little guy who's like, wrong address. Okay, so here we have the power of Switch. Oh, and up here it says I'm 12. So here's my character that I made, Switch. Apparently he can transform. And I went crazy with all the dots here. So here's his electric version, and here's his water transformation, Flo. He's got a nice mermaid tail.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Oh no! That's
Okay,
his high
so-
version.
Keep in mind, I was 12. I didn't know what weed meant. I was just thinking oh, I can't have a name be grass. Let's just think of what else is grass. Oh, weed.
Oh no.
So, I remember doing this one. I would
That's really good.
I'm a very patient
detail.
person.
Yeah, seriously.
If you can't tell, I'm very patient. Yeah.
Look
all
at
these
all
little
that.
stars are drawn by me. And then there's kind of a random dude sitting on a bench here.
He looks like this is what he's seeing. He's high
He
again.
encountered that weed character.
Yeah.
Here, I was getting a little bit more serious. So, I don't know if this will pick it up, but it was a bird. I remember finishing this, I was like, wow, I'm really proud of this. And it's okay, the wings don't really make sense, but I was 13 here. And here's another character that I was
that one.
obsessed with, a bipedal wolf. And he's aggressive here, and then he's sitting down, aggressive.
Aggravated.
Aggravated. When I had binders, I'd always want to draw a wallpaper for
Superman
them.
sheep.
And I wanted to do a sheep one. So this was in my binder. Here's a kangaroo that I never finished.
A dinosaur in pajamas.
A dinosaur in pajamas. And then there's a little fangirl.
Oh my god.
"Ee, so lovable." And then I like the little stick arms. I had a book that was look how to draw. And then I would just trace everything from it.
Oh.
So these are all traced. There's nothing wrong with tracing because that's how I started. I traced this raccoon, but I drew the rest.
Like all the little flies.
Yeah, there's
Go into it.
there's little fireflies and
Cute.
I was like, how do I draw trees? And I was like, oh. I still don't know how to draw trees.
This is from a manga book.
Yeah, I was obsessed with this
You were.
book. It was
Yeah.
about this guy who recycled his bottle and then it came to life and it was his pet. I drew random sceneries when I was bored. And I didn't finish them.
I like this one.
It was a kid who had his ice cream.
Okay.
And there was a disaster going on in the background. And then there was a grown man who dropped his ice cream.
Oh my god, his beard.
I remember only knowing how to draw dogs. So that's all I would draw. And this is a bunch of dogs all over this person who's puppies! I wanted to give the internet browsers a persona for some reason. So here's Google. So here's Google Chrome and she's got her little
Oh my
alien.
gosh.
And then here's Firefox.
When was this?
I don't know. I think it was maybe a year or two ago. And then here's Internet Explorer. And she's oh no, I'm too slow.
Oh, that was cute.
Yeah, here's a cat I drew. And I was messing around with the stripes. It kind of turned out cute.
I really like that one.
Cute. Here's when Jaiden Animations was not even a thing yet. This was when I was just dreaming of starting a YouTube channel. And this was how I was going to draw myself. You can see how much it has improved over the year, but that's like, I don't know. This is like weird because this is before the channel even started. And now looking back at it, when we're at 100,000, that's so weird. This is actually the first way I was going to draw myself. Would you guys still have the same impression of me if I drew myself like this? Trying to see what I wanted Jaiden Animations to look like. And look at that! There it is, right there. That's what I used. Then, I don't know what this one is. It says, go away, I'm drawing.
This one's pretty good, right there.
This is like a funny dance, apparently.
I need more paper.
I need more paper. I remember I was like, oh, I don't have any regular printer paper, so I had to use line ones. And then these were like my drawing notebooks. I always had like comics filled with these characters I made. On the back here, let me also note that my brother was really into Michael Jackson.
Oh my god.
So on the back of my sketchbook, he wrote Michael, and it says music, artist, identical, cool, hi, awesome, eats good, and learns well.
Wow.
MJ rocks.
Wow, because of all those things right there.
So that was going through my old drawings. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I found it very cringeworthy. Thank you so much for helping us reach this huge milestone. It's really mind-blowing to think that we've come this far. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Where are we going?
We're going to VidCon.
Yay!
Woo!
We wanted to record the sign of Welcome to California because we're in California now, but we were busy watching Treasure Planet.
Yeah, we just looked up and like, oh, there it is. Except practicing.
Playing Tetris in the car, even on a phone. He's still
pretty boss.
Windmill Forest. Look at him go. Keep it up, friends. You're doing good. Low-key. Oh, hello. Just got in the hotel. This is pretty cool. And then they gave me a bag. I don't know what's in it. A bag, and it says Tumblr, even though I don't have a Tumblr. Oh, I got a camera? Wait, what is this? Yeah.
Not for me.
Look, here's the camera.
You should film on that now.
So there's like stuff in here too. There's a Tumblr hat.
Ooh.
Here, wear this for me.
I have a Tumblr.
That's, yeah, you deserve it more than I do. Alright, we're gonna find people.
I'm gonna do it.
James is wearing my hat.
Yes.
Because I'm not worthy of it. We're gonna go find the squad. This is gonna be awesome.
Yes. It's happening.
Oh my god. We got our passes. Fancy, fancy. I'm not supposed to be in this area because it's public, but I mean, whatever.
Don't tell anyone.
Shush, 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 shush. We're trying to find Tony. We're on the phone with them. This is hype. We're so close, but so far.
Right?
Tony!
Are you vlogging?
Oh my god, I am vlogging.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. It just found us. Oh my god. What's your name? You're the first person we ever met here.
Like, you just got here like 5
This is so real.
Yes.
Tying a shoe. And we found Dan! Yay! Now we don't know what to do. Don't walk away from us.
I looked right in the sun now. I can't see anything.
Oh, there it is! Perfect timing. That's for you guys. I already ate.
Yeah.
Let's go find somewhere to sit. We couldn't find a spot to eat. So we're sitting in grass. Like peasants.
Right, we're talking about.
This is James's room.
There's VidCon over there. I can see
You can see VidCon from here. James, explain. Oh, you can see someone in the thing there.
Oh my god.
Ooh, spooky.
Oh.
James, explain what just happened in the elevator.
So I was bleeding out of my hand, just because, I was, being a weirdo, just messing around. And then Jax Films, just went in the elevator with us, and, my hand was all bloody. I was like, oh, hey, I really love your videos. And I was like, I make videos too, it's whatever. And, I told him. And I was, really worried he'd, try and shake my hand, and I'd be like, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, so we, talked to Jack, and Tony wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Tony.
I don't like these people.
Are these things $1,500?
The world may never know.
The world may never know. Look who's here!
Yay!
Oh, it's not Lucas. Yay! We're in James' room. And we got the bags. The bags. Just talked to the people and now he's gonna juggle with them.
This is crazy. I wish I was Alex.
I wish I knew how to juggle.
His name is Alex, too.
Wow! Leaving the animation squad for the Alex squad. Go, Alex!
Oh!
And when I say Alex, I mean both of you.
Tony here?
We don't know where Tony went. He's gone forever.
What? Okay.
Woo! Explain your emotions.
It was a very weird view.
Confess your love for your favorite YouTube star.
Captain Sparkles. I love you, Captain.
We're all taking a break because we're really tired. We actually just saw a follower.
You should have it when followers are actually there.
That'd be kind of weird. I feel like that's really awkward. Like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Shoves camera in face. I'm gonna film you, and then I'm gonna film Mark and Jack. But we're getting food. We're getting food.
It's at the cool kid lunch table.
Yeah, we're in the backstage because we were able to get in. No one's allowed back here, but people. So only some people.
I kind of want to go to Jackson's.
You're not bleeding this time.
Not bleeding this time.
Oh my god! Look at this freaking line! What are we doing? This is crazy. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing here. Down. Oh my god. Who's that? Dashing Asians. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Dom, what do you have to say?
That's me. Hi, I'm Jaiden. Face reveal, face reveal.
Jaiden face reveal. Oh shoot. We're taking a break from VidCon. That was crazy. We signed for 2 hours almost.
Yeah.
Ah! Oh, it's slippery. This is all ice.
See him?
Smash my red card.
Who let us in here? I play a bean game, but no one knows how to play except Alex.
Yeah.
He's trying to
Now you gotta
explain,
trade.
but no one understands. Tony's been boozled. Bean boozled. Double bean boozled.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony's got the fizzy drink bean and the blue bean that he traded. And it was a bad trade.
You have a garden bean.
Apparently.
Maybe
No,
I do.
you're proud of your what?
My deck.
Yeah, we're still playing, and I kind of get it now. But look at all my wax beans.
Thanks.
I'm the wax bean master.
Okay, my turn. Boom.
We just walked into all the meet and greets because we have good passes. James is on the hunt for Captain Sparkles. He's having a meet and greet sign thing right now.
I don't know who. I don't know which number.
We don't know where it is. We just walked in and people let us.
Hey.
Oh, hi. Oh, hello. We're gonna find Captain Sparkles.
One of these days. You probably might have even walked past him.
Yeah, we actually haven't been paying attention. We'll find him. The hunt is on. There he is.
And where is Cool Cat? There he is.
He's right there. Oh, we also stole some Sharpies. We didn't mean to. We didn't know it was his. So we're waiting.
Yeah, still waiting.
Still waiting for Captain Sparkles. While we waited, we built this nice tower.
Hope Jordan likes
Yeah, we hope he likes it.
it. Comes out soon too.
Yeah, we've been waiting for a while.
I hope because your
James is
panels-
being nice. We literally have the passes to go up and cut everyone in line, but we have morals.
But like it would also be awkward to like everyone in the back of the line too.
Nice makeshift shirt. I know. I saw that in the video. And there was a delay. Delayed getting his shirt. You worked for Maker.
It wasn't me. This one we don't even have this one. This is
I didn't even see that.
sunglasses.
Oh, it finally happened, the moment. So we're like backstage right now with the panel, and I'm really nervous, but these guys aren't. And then we're talking about how some places believe in not giving out ranch dressing.
They just don't know. They don't believe in the sauce.
Yeah, it's strange. This is the conversation we use to prepare for this. Oh my god, I'm nervous. There he goes! Some say he's still going today. The whole squad's here. Oh my god, this is so awesome. Okay, we got some crazy stunts happening. Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh my god!
I like drove into the car. I almost died.
I asked him if he was gonna jump over this, and then he said yes. Oh my god.
No, oh no.
Oh! Yeah, dumb.
So now jump over the arrow.
Oh, that was close. Oh!
I concede.
Oh, the champion remains. Sack the M&Ms. Oh, fail.
I want to kick it.
Ah!
Twice.
Oh, shoot. Look what's happening here.
This guy with 2 million.
What do you have to say?
Student becomes the teacher.
Oh my god. The lowest point of Dom's life. Is it good?
It's great. That is the best shoe tie
Rate
I've
the
ever
shoe
felt.
tie 10 out of 10.
I actually want him to redo the other one.
Look who we just ran into. Oh my gosh. It's so good to finally. I never even like met them before. And then like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, it's so awesome. Almost 2 years working with you guys. We finally got to meet at VidCon.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Yay. We're about to go to Disney. Yay. We're eating food. Oh, I thought you were gonna give me a. Yeah. James is on his, what, 4th orange juice?
I paid $6 for this OJ.
He's getting his money's worth out of orange juice. Oh my god.
Kid. Okay, so I paid for orange juice. It was $6. I was like shocked.
upsetting.
And I like drank like 5 glasses of orange juice, and then they didn't charge me for it.
It's true. I know it's hard to believe, but it's 100% true.
Wow. You just chugged 5 cups of orange juice for nothing.
I was for nothing. Tony. It was for nothing.
You're all so far apart, I can't get you in the shot. We just got to Disney.
Oh, we were not taking pictures?
Oh. I guess you can take a picture. Okay, so people will screenshot that. We just got to Disney, and now we're gonna have fun. This is our last day together, squad.
This is my fun face.
How beautiful it is. Oh, we're in. We're in the most magical Disney place on the earth of Disney magic. What?
My friend's over here. Look.
See, oh, I tripped on the railroad tracks.
Minnie.
Mickey's all right, but Minnie is an excellent cook.
Minnie's a babe.
Yeah, she's a total hottie.
Ship Alex and Minnie.
Don't say what you want about everyone else, but
Alex.
she has some nice ears.
Look how cute. Oh, yes. Okay, we can go. That's all I wanted. If you just walk out with that, then I don't think they'll stop you. They're like, wow, look at that. Oh my god! Oh, I caught it. Here you go. That didn't happen. Cut that part out, Jaiden. We're here.
Disney!
Look at the horse!
No, we're looking at.
No, I'm zooming in on the horse. Hold on.
Filming getting on the horse.
Film you
Without permission.
Film you getting on the horse. Film you stealing a horse at Disneyland.
I would die.
So much fun. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alex is filming. Oh my god, behind the scenes. Oh my god, Disney.
Behind the scenes of behind the scenes.
Oh shoot. Bwah.
Vlogception.
Bwah.
We just learned some secrets about Jaiden.
Yeah, we're gonna get on It's a Small World, and the only reason we're going is because when I was little, I cried on the entire thing because I was scared of the dolls, so we're just gonna see if I cry again.
He thinks, well, we got a bet here.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah.
He thinks she's gonna cry.
Put in the comments, hashtag is Jaiden gonna cry on, I don't know, it's a long
Me and
hashtag.
James are gonna cry together.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Jaiden gonna cry?
I feel it building up. Oh no!
Memories just coming back to you.
The flashbacks are happening already. We just got off the ride.
I have frozen stuff.
I only cried a little bit.
She didn't cry. I told you guys. I believed in
Yeah.
her. She
Whoever
came
thought
through.
I would cry.
All the haters.
You all owe
hate
me
on someone else.
$5. Ha! Yay! So we're at the Cheesecake Factory. Alex left.
Aw.
It's just the three amigos. Cookie dough.
Cookie dough.
Cheesecake.
Get it?
Yes.
Ready for this.
They have not been to the Cheesecake Factory
Oh
before.
yeah, neither of us.
Never been here. Yeah.
And this is their first experience of heaven.
Do you like it? Out of 10. 25.
Oh! Oh! It's kind of blurry.
Oh. Tastes like cookie dough though. Like,
Yeah.
now you're gonna narrate.
Is it good?
Like cookie dough with like chocolate chips in it. Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. But it's still good, right?
Yeah, this is good.
Yay!
Who doesn't like cookie dough?
So I'm editing the vlog for the VidCon trip. Right now you can see that like I have it all. Yeah. I didn't script this. I that's a bad habit I'm starting to have. I'm not scripting anything and it's all turning out crappy. I realized I forgot to record a proper outro. It kind of just ends on the cheesecake, and that's not really a satisfying ending. So I just want to say goodbye. This is the end of the video, and I want to say thank you to everyone. This trip was mind-blowing. Going in, I didn't know what to expect, but whatever I was expecting, it really surpassed anything I could have ever dreamt of. And I'm really thankful for you guys. I'm forever indebted to you. You guys are like, oh, thank you for making videos and you make me smile so much and you're such an inspiration. But I mean, you guys are really the ones that are helping me. So thank you so much. This trip surpassed anything I could have ever dreamt of. I mean, this was incredible. I never thought I would ever get to this point in anything in my entire life. You guys make me feel the happiest I've ever been. So, thank you for watching. I honestly love all of you. And yeah, see you next VidCon, I guess. Woohoo! Bye.
Music is a huge part of our society. It brings people together, lets you express yourself in new and creative ways, can even help you get through tough times. Personally, for me, I don't get it. I'm sorry. I've honestly never been a big music person. I know, throw me into a volcano. I would just rather watch YouTube videos. I don't know. I like the constant flashing colors and pictures, I think. I don't hate music. For the most part, I could honestly listen to anything, but that's kind of it, you know? Nothing stands out to me and I don't go out of my way to listen to it. If anyone out there is like me, you understand the pain of when a conversation starts turning towards the topic of music. You know exactly what's coming, and you're helpless to stop it. There's nothing you can do. It's already in motion. The person you're talking to opens their mouth and you wince as they say it. So what kind of music do you listen to? Oh, I don't really listen to music. Like, not at all. Nah, maybe like some video game music every once in a while, but that's kind of it. Damn. That's crazy. Yeah. And after that conversational stumbling, the person starts talking about the music they like, and you have to stand there and take it. Oh, that sounds cool. I should give it a listen. You're just lying through your teeth, not being convinced in the slightest, and will immediately forget every piece of information they tried to feed you. Even if I wanted to look it up later, my brain goes, get this out of here immediately. We've got to make room for the 4-hour-long video essay about Freddy Fazbear. Basically, I don't connect to music the way the majority of people do, and no one, including me, is happy about it. Look, I've tried to contribute in my own way, but no one else listens to the Mario Kart Cheeseland theme in their free time. It's good. No one believes me. Now, on a completely unrelated note, a while ago I wanted to get into a hobby that was fun and active at the same time because I do not move if not incentivized to. And that's not good. I'd like to still be fully functional at the age of 30. So after a bit of soul searching and digging around in the old ideas jar, I decided to try out DDR. I got a dance pad, downloaded some fun video game songs and anime intros to Dance Dance Revolution 2, and I got really into it. It was the most active I've been since high school. I was doing cardio for hours on end. Who am I? After playing my batch of custom songs for a few months, I decided to download some more stuff. And that's when I casually thought to myself, I wonder if there's any good Vocaloid charts. Now, to start a completely new tangent again, Vocaloid is a voice synthesizer program, yada yada yada. Basically, it's robot voices you can control to write songs, and there's different characters based on what voice you use. The most common example, you know her, you love her, is Hatsune Miku. Yep, strap in folks, we're finally talking about Hatsune Miku, my beloved. My history with Hatsune Miku is a bit all over the place. I first got really into her in high school. I don't remember exactly how, but I probably just stumbled onto some of her popular songs while browsing YouTube one day. Either way, I was obsessed, and that was the first instance of me actually listening to music, which, as you know, was groundbreaking. I loved Hatsune Miku so much that in my senior year of English class, the teacher told us to write a PowerPoint presentation about anything we wanted. Most kids talked about, like, ending racism or recycling or something like that, but I decided my presentation was gonna be about our girl, Hatsune Miku. You know, just as morally important as ending racism and preventing global warming. Of course, I disguised it as a presentation about our hologram concert's gonna be the future of live music, but it was really just an excuse to gush about Miku because I desperately needed that outlet. I was a lonely child. Honestly, I'm not even sure how I mustered up the courage to do that presentation in the first place, because as the shy art girl who never talked to or hung out with anyone, it was a bold choice for me to talk about something considered so strange and nerdy at the time. I started my presentation and immediately was like, oh my god, what the hell am I doing talking about a holographic Japanese pop icon in front of my normie-ass classmates? I regret every moment I didn't stop myself from getting right here. After playing Miku's viral World Is Mine performance for the class, one of the, like, popular girls was like, that was cool, can we watch another? And I thought she was making fun of me, so I just sat back down. As much as I loved Miku back then, my anxiety got the better of me, and I slowly drifted away from her because I didn't want to feel like a social outcast. It's a dog-eat-dog world when you're a teenager, and you know it. We were all just trying to survive out there. I'm sorry, Miku. I was weak. Fast forward to current Jaiden. I've grown up a bit, and more sure of myself, learned some life lessons. Am not surrounded by self-conscious teenagers 24/7. I'm now sitting here in front of my computer screen with a choice. Should I choose to yet again repress myself from pursuing a niche and uncommon interest because of self-conscious fears? Or am I gonna choose self-healing and growth and allow myself to fully re-explore the world of a Japanese virtual pop star to play DDR2? Crank up that, Miku. I started downloading songs I listened to years ago, found some new ones. I was exploring and already getting more and more into the music I chose to leave behind out of fear years ago. I was flourishing. And that's how it began. I didn't know it back then, but this was the first step of a hyperfixation like no other I've experienced. Hatsune Miku was showing me the ways of truly enjoying music. I was playing her whenever I was in the car, consistently looking up new songs and artists to add to my playlist, even listening to her while I work or play video games, which I pretty much never did. My world was changing. and it was all hers. This wasn't just the music either, it was straight up about Hatsune Miku. I've never been a figure collector, but I started buying so many Miku figures I had to get a custom shelf in my office just to display them all. Dude, it's such a double-edged sword to be into Miku because the fan base is constantly being fed. New Miku this, new Miku that. Gorgeous figures are coming out like every month. What am I supposed to do? Not buy them? Every house needs to have at least one Miku. That's a feng shui rule. Also, a huge oversight on my part. When I got my Miku shelf installed, I wanted it above my computer. It turned out great and displays them really well, but when I'm actually sitting at my desk and want to look up and admire my figures, all I see is accidental upskirt shots and I feel so bad. I'm sorry, Miku, I'm not trying to disrespect you, I promise. It was a miscalculation on my part. So whenever I'm at my desk, I just don't look up. As most of you probably know, Pokemon invited Jacob and me to Japan to attend the Pokemon World Championships back in August. That was super fun, and the video of that trip should be up by now if I'd planned things correctly. If not, then oops. But Worlds also just so happened to overlap with Magical Mirai, also known as one of the biggest Hatsune Miku expos and concerts ever. We had to go. Since getting super into Miku, it became one of my biggest dreams to see her live in concert. Who knows if we'd ever get this perfect of an opportunity again? What if she invites me backstage and we became friends? I immediately tried to get tickets, but couldn't figure out how the Japanese ticket system worked, so Emily ended up having to help me out. She was also the one who told me about the concert in the first place, so thank you, Emily, my hero, my savior. We got tickets, but not actually, because if you don't know, the way Japan does most of their online ticket systems is through a gacha. Yeah, random lottery. No matter how much money I was willing to hypothetically spend to get these tickets, at the end of the day, we were all just like those little numbered balls in that bingo spinner thing. Months pass as I eagerly await our fate. Then the email pops up in my inbox. I click it, scanning it way too quickly to understand any of the contents until my eyes catch it. Successfully obtained tickets. We're gonna see Miku! Suddenly life had color again. This is what living feels like. Air tasted more pure. The sun was smiling, beaming even. I smiled back for the first time. Something smelled like toast. You have no idea how excited I was. I don't even understand why I love Hatsune Miku as much as I do, but she has become one of the pillars of my being. Let's jump to the day of the concert. Jacob and I are in Japan and are just about to arrive at the convention center. I remember looking out the window of the taxi, getting so excited to see people wearing their Miku shirts and kimonos, and they had Miku bags. I felt like I was finally around my people. We get there, walk into the convention center, and a blast of Hatsune Miku hits us. Giant Miku statues and posters, booths stocked with Miku merchandise, almost everyone dressed head to toe in Miku clothes. I saw people with Hatsune Miku suitcases to hold all the Miku things they were buying. I immediately wanted to run around and look at everything all at once. There were multiple times where Jacob lost me because I just started walking off in different directions like a Miku moth. We spent a few hours looking around and buying things. We spent a lot of money, but eventually we started getting ready for the live concert. I was giddy with excitement at this point. She was gonna be right in front of me. We found our seats and dude, we were pretty damn close to the stage, especially for randomly selected seats. I couldn't believe how close we were gonna be to Hatsune Miku. I already knew going into it I was gonna cry frame one. If you didn't know, it's pretty standard to have special Miku glow sticks you can shake to the beat of whichever song is playing. You can even switch them to the coordinated color of whichever Vocaloid was on stage at the time. I've only learned about it from watching videos of concerts on YouTube thus far, and I gotta say, it was so fun to see people before the show warming up their arms and practicing their glow stick moves. They really take Hatsune Miku seriously, and I respect it so much. Some people were even quadruple wielding glow sticks. The record I personally saw was 6, like some sort of Miku Wolverine. It was a huge bummer though, because Jacob and I tried to buy some sticks of our own at the expo hall, but they were already sold out, so we didn't have any. And it was kind of embarrassing. Soon enough, the Miku songs the venue was playing started getting louder, and the house lights dimmed, and man, seeing the lights turn down and the teal glow of all the sticks emanating together to light up the room, honestly, It made me tear up. I don't even think I realized how much I loved Hatsune Miku until that moment. Being completely surrounded by people who love her just as much and more than I do. This is what it's like to be into music, isn't it? To experience these moments being completely engulfed in a community, all connected by a single art. I get it now. It's beautiful. The room glowed Miku blue and everyone was cheering and shaking their glow sticks, anticipating her appearance. All the Vocaloids were introduced one by one with text on the hologram screen. Meiko, Luca, Kaito, Kagamine, Rin, and Len. And then Hatsune Miku. The crowd went ballistic. I could already feel myself holding back tears. A little digital poof explosion goes off, and there she was. Right in front of us. She started singing and Jacob and I were cheering and bouncing with the rest of the crowd. By the time she got a couple songs in, Jacob and I were definitely feeling left out for not having the glow sticks to shake. So we pulled out our Miku plushes to use in place of them, and that felt much better. By the end of the concert, Jacob was even dual wielding Mikus. After a few songs, Miku disappeared and the other Vocaloids played some of their songs. I honestly don't know them as well, so I wasn't too familiar with most of the songs they all played, but I was having a great time nonetheless. It was nice to not be fighting tears the whole time anymore as well. Then Miku came back and the concert continued on and we learned some real nice glow stick moves, replaced with our Miku plushes, of course. There's the classic arm cheer on beat, the on beat off beat, the building cheer on to beat, even throw in the advanced building cheer on to double beat with a height. I'll say it, doing all those glow stick movements was honestly a really crazy arm workout. Like, we were working biceps and shoulders for 2 hours straight. Imagine Beat Saber, but higher up in the posture with almost no breaks. And if you don't commit, then Hatsune Miku thinks you hate her. I wanted to mention that in Vocaloid concerts, obviously they have a recording of the vocals because, you know, but all the other instruments were absolutely real. There was a live band playing all the songs for the entire set. In the middle of the concert, there was even a nice little appreciation moment showcasing all the band members by name, accompanied by a little solo they got to play. I'm a big bass fan and would love to learn how to play it one day. And I know bass players get super neglected because everyone wants to watch the cool guitar players, so I gave extra attention to the Miku bass player. They definitely noticed me cheering for them, probably because I could tell everyone was watching the guitar players and I was the only one actually looking at them. And the bass player smiled super wide and raised his bass to me, and I just thought that was a nice moment. Appreciate your bass players, guys. They need it. Anyway, the concert went on. There were awesome lasers and sparklers, fun costume changes from all the Vocaloids, great set list. Shout out to the guy in front of us that was there with his girlfriend and definitely more excited to be there than she was. Finally, it came to the encore. We had to convince Miku to play one more song. You know how, at least in America, people are cheering and screaming for an encore? Well, Japan is like so quiet and polite. They were saying it like a suggestion. It was so quiet. Kind of just a long session of applause with a whisper of Miku. Miku. Like, if I were Hatsune Miku, I would have questioned if they even wanted the encore in the first place. Also, we were asking for the encore for like 5 minutes straight. I was fully convinced she had left the building. But she came out for her last song. It was a blast. She was in her magical Mirai outfit for the year. And it was over. I've only gone to one other concert in my entire life, and it was because a friend in college had an extra ticket and invited me along. I didn't even know the band at the time. It was some random group called Fall Out Boy or something. But I could have been to 1,000 concerts and still say this was the best one I've ever been to. I loved the energy, I loved how passionate and excited everyone was to be there, and I loved Hatsune Miku, and still do. I want to go to so many more of her concerts. It was a great event for me, and I want to relive it again and again. You might think it's weird, or you don't get it. It's just a hologram robot girl, right? That's totally fine. If you can't find it in Vocaloid, I hope everyone has the opportunity to connect with or find a community to enjoy like I have with Hatsune Miku, because moments like that concert are so incredible and I feel so lucky to have been there. I just want everyone to experience something like that in their lifetime. Getting into Vocaloid can be a bit intimidating, so for anyone that wants to give Miku a try or is just looking for a playlist of some of my favorite Vocaloid songs, I'm putting a link to a Miku playlist I've made and actively listened to in the description and probably the comments too. If I can convert at least a few people into Miku fans, that's a win in my book. I hope you enjoy. I am off to apply for more tickets to another Miku concert. Bye-bye. Dungeons & Dragons is like a board game without the board, and you play using your imagination. If you think of something, it can just happen in game. D&D is very popular. Almost everyone I've ever met absolutely loves it, and I have never played it before, even though I always thought I would really like it. People would tell me stories of their games, like, so this one time me and my party were entering a cave, and there was a big ogre guarding some treasure, but I used my charisma stat to seduce him, and we ended up eloping together. Dude, if you don't think that sounds crazy fun, then I don't think we would get along, and you should probably unsubscribe. But if you do think that sounds fun, then hey. Sorry, I've never done that before. It felt weird. I decided to reach out to Charlie, aka Slimesicle, aka Charlie Slimesicle, because he's super into D&D, and we ended up forming a little group of me, Alpharad, Ronbu as the players, and Charlie as the Dungeon Master, which is like the game organizer / manager / god. We all created our characters, and into the world we were teleported. The clouds part over a vast, lush forest. In it, a giant ancient oak tree can be found looming over all the other trees. The inside has been hollowed out, and a sign hangs on the side reading Old Oak Inn. Inside, many creatures of various origins are relaxing, drinking, socializing, but one stands out. A cat, equipped with various instruments, sits at a table, leaning over their cup of milk and scanning the room. They spot a dragonborn drinking at the bar, alone, seemingly pondering life. From the other end of the bar, a man in a suit approaches the dragon and starts a casual conversation. Do you know Mark? No, I don't. Who are you? I'm Paul. I'm an assistant manager at Ye Old Mart of Wall. 43 years old. My wife passed away during childbirth. My parents died. And my only child, Paul Jr., ran away at age 6. I'm living a deadbeat life, not even able to go up in the corporate ladder because my manager, Mark, prevents me from doing so. So here I am, drinking away my woes. I'm Zoot. Hi, excuse me. Are you two new around here? Born and raised. I wish I was. Okay, so I've been stuck in a time loop for what I believe to be the past 3 years. I've relived the same day over and over. I suspect my neighbor Thomas somehow trapped me here, but I don't know how to escape. I can prove it. Look, over there. In about 5 seconds, there's a 70% chance a waiter is gonna trip and drop their glasses onto the ground. Well, alright, it's a bit impressive, but, like, it's gonna take a bit more convincing because that wasn't all that. Suddenly, a sheep crashes through the tavern windows and starts rampaging around the inn. It's going straight up crazy, knocking over tables, knocking over people. Paul mentions it's got something in its mouth, and the sheep immediately stops and runs straight up to him. As Paul takes what seems to be a scroll out of the sheep's mouth, Zoot whips out their mace in an attempt to pepper spray the sheep, but slips on a puddle of rum and accidentally sprays Paul, who just is disappointed at this point. The three open the scroll, and Zoot, recognizing it's a speak with animals spell, translates it, casting a huge shockwave and blasting everything in its radius. Hello? Can you understand me now? Why the f did you try to spray me with mace? Zoot and the sheep start bickering as Paul and Tholomew just stare at them. Just forget it. I'm no ordinary sheep. I used to be human and was cursed into a sheep's body. My name is Luop, and I need your help becoming human again. Please. Alright, Lop. Well, it's Luop. Come on, guys, let's go. And for some reason, they all went along with it, still not understanding what the hell is going on. Maybe, they both thought, they could find their arch enemies, Mark and Thompson, along the way. The group is walking through the woods. Tholomew is very on edge, feeling like something isn't quite right. The tree line is shifting in unnatural ways. Oak trees are turning into birch. The bushes are rustling. Zoot spots various random animals along the path and picks up a turtle, which they add to their inventory. Paul tries to pocket a turtle of his own, but it turns out to be a rock, and is then mauled by a cougar. He ends up unharmed, though his adventure suit he changed into is now ruined. Zoot feels bad about Paul not getting a turtle, so they offer to let Paul name theirs, to which he chooses Paul Jr. They eventually reach a clearing with a large stone outcrop covered in engraved shifting runes. Carved into a stone is a large bronze door with a face on it. Hello! You should try to impress it. Oh, okay.
Answer me these riddles 3, and then you can come in. I'm a riddle door. The alphabet goes from A to Z, but I go from Z to A. What am I?
The alphabet backwards.
Wrong! The answer was zebra. Who is next? I move without wings, between silken strings. I leave, as you may find, my substance behind.
I'm gonna say a spider, because I got the butt strings.
Correct! You may pass.
Wait, but can you turn our friend back?
Oh yeah, double or nothing. Answer this next riddle, and your friend will be turned back. I creep and crawl with no eyes, legs, or ears, but I can move the earth with my peers. What am I?
Can you use it in a sentence?
In answer to the question?
Yeah, like spelling bee style.
Nice try, but you're not gonna worm your way out of this.
I think I picked up on it. I don't know if you noticed, but he said worm on accident. I'm very detail oriented.
Don't listen to him, he's a zebra.
Paul Jr., what do you think the answer is? Turtle! Turtle, final answer! It's a worm!
Correct.
The adventurers walk through the door's mouth, which closes behind them. As they're walking into an open room, they're greeted by a closed silver door. Zoot immediately pitches the turtle at the door, but nothing happens. There's 3 dishes of clay placed in front of 3 pedestals, and the door face emerges once again, this time on the ceiling.
In order to continue, create whatever you want.
Not wanting to deal with more riddles, Zoot throws a dagger into the door's eye.
Ah, dude! Fine, I'm not helping you with this one.
The group, now lost with no direction, decides for some reason to all start eating the clay, even feeding some to Paul Jr. and Lwop against their wills. After all the clay has been consumed, the pillars glow red and more clay drops down from the ceiling, resetting the puzzle. Out of ideas, they decide to do what the door face suggested. Tholomew sculpts a crown, Zoot rolls out a worm, and Paul builds a penguin. They all place their creations on pedestals, which sink in and beam green before the lights turn out and everything goes dark. They flash back on and suddenly all their creations have come to life in weird clay flesh bodies. Paul cleaves at his penguin with a great axe, nearly cutting it clean in half, revealing that the inside is just more clay. The worm monster looks at Zoot and says, "It's wormin' time!" causing Zoot to scream and sending a shockwave towards it, immediately exploding the worm and splattering clay everywhere, living as a normal-sized worm now. The worm lunges and wraps itself around Zoot's throat, trying to choke them out. Tholomew rips the arms off the crown monster and dodges its follow-up attack. The penguin reforms itself, sprints full speed at Paul, but slips and splats into a pile of clay on the ground, to which Paul finishes off with his axe. Meanwhile, Tholomew attempts to rip the legs off the crown, only for the crown legs to turn into arms, grabbing Tholomew and climbing onto their head, causing them to lose their mind. Viewing the other party members as enemies, Paul shifts his attention to Tholomew, throwing his great axe horizontally at the crown. Unfortunately, it goes a bit low and the handle smacks Tholomew directly in the face. Zoot gets a grip on the worm, ripping it off their throat, and breathes acid onto it until it's reduced to ash. Tholomew blows on their bagpipes to attack Paul, sending out a thunderous shockwave that shakes the cavern. Paul is able to hold his ground, runs up to the two, and successfully cleaves the crown off Tholomew's head. All the clay monsters have been defeated. The silver door opens, and everyone cheers together in celebration. The adventurers enter the new room to be greeted by wooden structures, spiral staircases, platforms, and a golden door at the very back wall. It looks like a camp is set up inside the area, and voices can be heard above on one of the platforms. Tholomew scans the area looking for traces of their neighbor, Thompson. Not only do they discover a pack of goblins that have inhabited the area, but he also recognizes a familiar boot print in the clay. It's the same type Thompson wears. He's been here. Paul climbs up to the goblin platform and sparks conversation. The goblins are confused and a bit wary of the intruders, but introduce themselves nonetheless.
I'm Gob, that's Glob, that's Gobble, that's Gobble Gob, and that's the Peeler.
And who's that?
That's Bloyle.
So your names are Gob, Glob, Gobble, Gobble Gob, Peeler, and Bloyle?
The Peeler.
Got it. So your name is the Peeler. You don't know anything about Marker Thompson.
I only know about one thing. And that's peeling. Yeah. Great, there you go.
Oh, jeez. Okay, all right, we're leaving. Paul starts booking it to the door they came in through, the Peeler right on his tail, stabbing at his ankles. No one else is doing or saying anything, they're just watching. Paul makes it back to the previous room, and the Peeler slinks into the shadows. With Paul in the other room and Tholomew and Zoot unable to speak Goblin, Tholomew is left trying to communicate through improvised sign language, pointing at the door and blowing kisses at the goblins to signal peace. Zoot tries to slip around the goblins in the meantime, as communication is clearly not working and the goblins are only getting more aggressive, but they bump into an invisible force they can't see, alerting the goblins, who are now initiating combat. Zoot decides to keep running to the door as Tholomew bangs on their drums, sending sound shockwaves at the attacking goblins. Gob, Glob, and Gobble are all sent flying off the edge of the platform, falling to their deaths. Gobblegob, in a fit of rage after losing his friends, lunges at Tholomew but misses completely, sending himself off the edge of the platform too. The Peeler emerges from the shadows to lunge at Tholomew, who is taking up Bloyle, but Paul jumps in just in time, clashing blades with him. As everyone is distracted, Zoot gets to the door, peeking in to see an entirely golden room with a small golden rod shaped like a tree branch floating at the center. The branch shifts between valuable materials, at one moment being made of gold, then emerald, then ruby. Gobblegob, the goblin that accidentally dove off the side of the platform, sprints back up the stairs and attempts to tackle Tholomew off the platform, but accidentally leaps over him and plummets once again over the edge, this time to his demise. Paul and Tholomew perform a clumsy team attack together and finish off the Peeler, ending the battle, but because of the uncoordinated attack, Paul's axe is now peeled. They all hurry over to Zoot and enter the golden room together, trying to figure out how to get the artifact down. Zoot suggests they all toss Lop into the air to get it down, so Paul Solongi Bowser's the sheep into the air, but in the complete opposite direction. Tholomew quickly runs over and breaks his fall, and before Lop can say anything, they throw him again, this time hitting their target as they both fall to the ground. No one stops Lop's fall this time as he lays motionless on the floor. As Tholomew is healing up Lop, Zoot approaches the wand, only for it to be snatched by an invisible force. An unseen figure then reveals itself. Well, hey there, neighbor. Oh, and Paul. It's me, your good friend, Mark Thompson. Tholomew, you ruined my life, spreading false rumors about me. You said I cursed you, and now no one wants to talk to me. My wife and kids left me, everyone avoids me, so I spent years becoming a dark wizard, and I'm gonna have my revenge. What about me? And you, Paul? Anyway, yeah! You all are gonna be spending the rest of your lives here in this shifted sanctum. I'll be going now. Tholomew quickly casts Locate Object on the wand Mark is now holding and throws ink in the general direction, hoping to reveal where Mark is. But unfortunately, it doesn't land. Zoot sprints in the direction Tholomew indicated and attempts to tackle the air. They make contact, but bounce off of Mark's rock-solid beer gut, breaking the invisibility spell. Tholomew whips out their drums, slamming it with the intent to cast a Thunderwave on Mark, sending him flying from the impact. Zoot follows behind and shouts, "Depression!" casting a command spell on him. He stops in his tracks, facing Zoot, and says, "I'm so sad." Having never dealt with depression before, he pulls out a picture of his ex-wife and kids and just stares at it longingly. Paul and Tholomew see their chance to attack him and once again try to use an ultimate team attack. They grip Paul's peeled axe together and throw it in tandem at Mark. But once again, they mess up and Tholomew is accidentally sent flying with the axe as it pierces Mark's chest. Mark is unfazed, still wallowing in his depression, but Zoot sees this as an opportunity, casting Disguise Self and visually turning themselves into Mark's ex-wife. "Ella, is that you?" "It is! Mark." Mark drops the photo and wand, sobbing, and slowly walks towards Zoot, who has their arms out, ready for his embrace. He grabs Zoot and pulls them close, tears streaming down his face. "It's been so hard. It's okay. I'm here now." Zoot pulls back, just a bit, just to look into Mark's eyes, which are sparkling with tears, and proceeds to acid blast him point blank from the mouth. Mark is heavily damaged but alive, snapping back to reality and throwing Paul's axe to the ground. "If I can't have the wand, no one can!" Paul picks up one part of his peeled axe. Looks like the manager position just opened up. He throws the axe and hits Mark, but doesn't kill him. He then picks up the other peeled axe part to throw as well, but it boomerangs around and hits him in the back of the head. Tholomew grabs the wand from the ground and points it at Mark. "This is for everything. The low tax return, the restraining order, for moving in next to me. You're my personal hell!" Ah! Mark turns to Paul while being zapped by the wand. "Would you still let me be your manager, even if I was a..." "You're fired." "You guys did it! Please, use the wand to turn me back into a human. Please!" Tholomew casts the wand's powers onto Lop, finally turning him back into his original form. Paul and now human Lop lock eyes. "Hi, Dad." "Paul Jr. Is that you?" Oh! Paul and his long-lost son, Paul Jr., embrace. The wand, now all out of magic, crumbles into dust, and the party exits the cave. The bombs detonate, and the explosions erupt behind them as the group walks off together. Thanks for watching. This was a different type of video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Especially big thanks to Charlie, Ronbu, and Jacob for the great D&D session. It was super fun, and I really want to play more. I'd like to upload highlights of the actual D&D session to my second channel eventually, but it's not ready yet because I'm bad at planning. So maybe that'll happen one day. Anyway, this was a big project. Thank you to the team as always, and to Sir Meow for the sound effects. Links to everyone are in the description. Okay, I will see you later. Bye-bye. Remember when Pokemon sent me every single one of their Gen 5 sitting cuties for me to rank? Turns out they really liked that video. So much, in fact, that they said, "Hey Jaiden, awesome video. Why don't you come to Japan to watch the Pokemon 2023 World Championships?" Our treat. You won't have to pay for your flights or hotel or nothing. I've been to Japan once before in my entire life, and it was back in 2018 with my family. We did a bunch of fun little Japanese tourist things. It was a phenomenal trip, but ever since then, I've always wanted to go back and do all the awesome nerdy stuff Japan has to offer that I didn't want to bother my family with. At the time, they didn't even know who Luffy was. They would have been so lost. So when Pokemon extended their hand and offered to fly not only me, but Jacob out to attend the biggest Pokemon tournament in the world, I jumped for joy. Free trip to Japan! The tournament was only going on for a single weekend, but Jacob and I planned to stay there for 3 whole weeks to do a bunch of said extra nerdy stuff. We were pumped. Eventually the time came, Jacob and I were packing up all our stuff and decided we both would bring an extra suitcase so we could treat ourselves a bit and buy a bunch of cool stuff while we're there. Don't judge us. We're anime and Nintendo loving impulse buyers going to Japan. A game plan was needed. We were being responsible. 2 extra suitcases was definitely gonna be enough. Yep. Equipped with our extra luggage, we headed off to the airport. Pokemon straight up gave us business class seats. We didn't ask for them or anything. So when we boarded, we realized we had the seats where you could lay down. There even was some sort of seat divider that acted like a car window, so I could roll it down and bother Jacob whenever I wanted. Quick little 11-hour flight later, and we were in Japan. It was time to have the best trip of our lives. I'm not joking. I had the most incredible trip and got to do things I won't ever forget. And I won't, because I've now plastered it onto the internet forever. We landed midday Japan time, so we decided to go to the first thing we wanted to see while abroad. Japanese McDonald's. I couldn't order anything except fries, but Jacob and I both dropped our jaws when we saw something called the Double Big Mac on the menu. I thought Americans already went big with the Big Mac, but Japan did the impossible, just to send a message. What a magical place. Let's begin with the next morning. Pokemon planned a bunch of cool stuff for the creators and partners they flew out, beginning with a group field trip to the Mega Tokyo Pokemon Center. Jacob and I woke up early for it and missed the bus they had for us. And it totally wasn't completely my fault entirely because I hypothetically didn't read the schedule correctly and was taking my sweet time getting ready. Why would you think that? So we had to take the trains on our own to get there. Anyone that remembers my first Japan trip knows the trains were me and my family's mortal enemy #1. We kept getting it wrong and it was failure after failure the entire trip. You'd think that with all that prior experience and struggle, I would have grown as a Japanese train understander, right? Nope, we got on the wrong train. But at least we were having a good time, haha. After a lot of freaking out and mental strain and regrets, we finally arrived at our destination, and although by the time we got there they had already finished looking at the Pokemon Center, we were able to grab a quick snack with the group at the Pokemon Sweets Cafe. I meant to take a picture of the Pikachu waffle before I ate half its cranium, but I forgot, so this is what you get. Now that we were with the group, we were able to travel with them for the rest of the day, so we packed into the bus and headed off to a traditional tea ceremony where we were taught all about how the tea masters would make tea and tea etiquette and all these things about the significance of tea in Japanese culture, all while getting to taste the tea master made. Again, I meant to take this picture before I took a chunk out of the little sweet they gave us, but here we are yet again. I'm just not that great at this. They also served us a really special lunch of super fancy bento boxes, like so fancy that the host was like, dude, I've never even had these bento boxes before. I was super excited, but I don't mean to be ungrateful or wasteful, but the box was full of super fancy, complicated fish and seafood. I knew going to Japan I'd have to be flexible with food because it's really hard to be vegan or even vegetarian there, so I really tried to eat as much as possible and look thankful. But yeah, I struggled a lot. But I still had a great time and it was an honor. We were dropped off at the Yokohama Chinatown and left to explore a bit until dinner in a few hours. Everyone separated into groups and Jacob, Stefan, the guy that sent me all the sitting cuties, you guys remember him, the guy named Steve, and I went and pursued the street food a bit before stumbling into a little arcade with a bunch of crane machines. I got this silly little bear minifigure. His name is Chico, so I decided to innocently carry him around in my pocket for the entirety of the trip. You know, because he was silly. This single action severely changed the course of my mental stability going forward. You'll see soon enough. But look at these cute photos I got with them. We had a great dinner, headed back to the hotel, got to hang out with our good old Pokemon rival Jan a bit, and called it a night. The next day we all got to do some private shopping at the Pokemon World's pop-up shop. I'll just say we bought way too much stuff that we also don't regret in the slightest. I even got this video of Jacob grabbing more and more sitting cuties as the workers kept reorganizing them to keep the display looking perfect. We walked out of there with 3 giant bags of stuff. But it's okay because remember, we anticipated this with our extra suitcases, which I am starting to wonder if they are going to be enough, but surely we will come down. We were then all taken to the creatures' offices. You know, just the place where they make Pokemon cards. It was gorgeous in there. They had these awesome sculptures of giant Pokemon cards with crystals, and all the walls were lined with 3D card art. It felt like I was in a building with a lot of significance. Because I was. We got a tour around the building, met the TCG card testers, and were able to ask them questions about their process. Even got to have a little Q&A session with Atsushi Nagashima, the game director of the Pokemon TCG. It was funny, one of the people in our group asked how they chose which Pokemon to make cards for. A good question. And then followed it up with, I really like Mantike, but there's only 2 Mantike cards that exist. And the assistant pulled up a list of all the Pokemon Mantike cards that have ever been created, and sure enough, there were only 2. The director chuckled and was essentially like, yeah, sometimes Pokemon get lost in the cracks. We kinda just make cards of Pokemon I like. For example, my favorite Pokemon is Gengar. And you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. Also, we were able to have a Q&A session with the Pokemon card art director and 3 artists who actually draw art for the cards. That was super interesting, and I was so incredibly inspired by that discussion. But you know those Pokemon cards with the super cute clay art? That artist's name is Yuka Mori, and she was in that panel. I was so starstruck. Those are some of my favorite Pokemon cards. And not only that, but she hosted a little workshop for us where she gave us clay and taught us how to make little clay Magnemites like in this card here. Speaking of this card, she brought the actual original Magnemite for us to see. That was by far the coolest thing that I've ever gotten to be a part of. We got to meet a piece of genuine history. I felt like I was meeting the president. Also, here's me and Jacob's Magnemites that we made. Day 3 of our little Pokemon field trip, and we were taken to another Pokemon Center. This time in Shibuya, which was also right across from a Nintendo store. It was like a bullet was shot through our credit cards. In the shopping center, I saw a little gacha machine with little miniature Chiikawa plushes. I was only interested in getting Chiikawa, but I decided to test my luck anyway. And I got him first try! Now I had 2 of them. Yes, the original was still in my pocket. You can safely assume he is in my pocket for the entirety of this video. I've got pictures to prove it. Jacob snapped this awesome picture of the Chiikawa brain rot taking over. When we were looking around in the Shonen Jump shop, a little Japanese boy pointed at Jacob and went, Sanji-san, before his mother quickly yanked him away, and I still to this day laugh at that interaction. Poor kid saw his first blonde guy in real life and immediately thought it was Sanji. Later that day, we also got to attend the Pokemon Symphony, where a live orchestra played Pokemon songs, and it was absolutely incredible. Video game orchestras are so cool. It always tugs on my heartstrings to see video game music transformed into such a beautiful new art form. Highly recommend attending one if you have any favorite games or franchises. On to the first day of Worlds. It was exciting. People flooded into the venue. We watched the opening ceremony in the crowd. Just wow. This is the whole reason why we're here. We went back to shopping. Look at this cute little Chiikawa book I found in a nearby bookstore. At this point, we were absolutely pushing it in terms of luggage space, and we were day 4 into a 2.5-week trip. Our shopping sprees until this point were very not frugal, so we cut our losses and bought 2 extra giant suitcases to fit everything better. Okay, we knew we were gonna need extra suitcases. Getting a few extra couldn't hurt. Look, the flights were paid for. We were still saving money at this point, I think. That's my rationalization. I'm going with that. Also in the mall were tons of Pokemon monitors straight up playing the World Championships. TCG, Pokemon Go, VGC. Japan treated Worlds like it was the Super Bowl. And it was just so cool to see one of my main interests so culturally celebrated. People of all ages would stop by to watch for a bit before going back to their shopping. I can't explain it, but it just made me very happy. We even got to see Wolfie live on the monitors. How'd he do? He did great. Don't worry about it. Nothing happened. Look, we were just happy to see our friend on the Pokeball screen. Proud of you, Wolfie. You're so cool. The second day of Worlds was hype. So hype that we left Yokohama and flew to Osaka. I haven't mentioned it yet, but we actually got tickets to see the one and only Hatsune Miku live in concert. The real ones know how huge that is for me. I want to talk about how life-changing that was, but I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that experience I'll be posting next. All I'm gonna say is it was the best day of my entire life. By a lot. Subscribe now before you miss it, just saying. I will mention, we did have to take the train to get back later that night, and got super lost again. And we never get better at it. Don't expect anything to change in that regard. We did finally get back to Yokohama, crashed for the night, and had a nice slow morning as we got ready for finals later that day. To any One Piece fans who are caught up, we were in Japan for the One Piece anime episode. You know what I'm talking about. 1072. We were able to turn on our hotel TV and watch it live. and that was so cool. I don't talk about how much I love One Piece much, mainly because it doesn't really come up, but One Piece is peak, and it was an honor to be in Japan at such an iconic part of the manga and anime's history. Anyway, back to Pokemon, sorry about that. We were able to watch the final VGC match live, got to chat and eat dinner with Wolfie and some other friends, had a late night hangout with Jan again, and that was about it. Day 7 meant it was time to pack up all our stuff from the hotel, say goodbye to Pokemon and Yokohama, and head on over to the apartment we rented for the rest of our stay just outside of Tokyo. At this point, we had filled up all 6 suitcases and multiple backpacks. I didn't mention it, but Pokemon gave us a truckload of gifts that we genuinely had no idea what to do with. We're grateful nonetheless, thank you Pokemon. But yeah, the taxi ride was a bit awkward. So, are you meeting up with some friends? No. After we got situated in the new place, we decided to look around the area and grab some lunch. And I gotta say, the little hole-in-the-wall restaurant Jacob found was some of the best ramen I've ever had ever. They even made it vegetarian for me, which was extremely kind of them. Food modifying is a bit tricky in Japan compared to the States, so I was very, very thankful. And it was delicious! We then proceeded to do absolutely nothing for the rest of the day because we were exhausted from the trip so far. I haven't mentioned absolutely everything we'd been doing on the trip because it would be a lot of, first we did this and it was cool, then we did this and it was cool. Even though it was such a pleasure to be invited, I was so dead. And definitely looked super not approachable or friendly to the rest of the group by the end of it. Sorry, guys. But neither time nor Japan stops for anyone, so we had to keep on chugging along. There were a bunch of friends we wanted to see while in Japan, and one of them was Connor. He wanted to take us to what he deemed his favorite Italian place ever. I asked if it was like fancy Italian, to which I was given the answer of no. So we get there, having a great time, and suddenly we realize Junichi Masuda, the director of Game Freak, is there having dinner. Not a fancy dinner, my ass. I then look down to see the Freddy Fazbear FNAF t-shirt that I am wearing. Not the best Jaiden moment to exist, but hey, what can you do? The food was phenomenal though. I already mentioned the best ramen I've ever had while on the trip, but this was genuinely the best pasta I've ever had in my entire life. Maybe even a top 3 meals ever for me. I don't know what the other 2 would be, but that Connor place is definitely up there. The next day we went to the One Piece store in Shibuya and bought a lot of stuff because there was a lot of topical and hype things in there, as you could imagine. If you don't get it, go catch up and come back. Don't worry, it won't take too long. My favorite character is Mihawk, but out of all the stuff the store had to offer, there were only a few stickers and a single keychain for Mihawk. I'm still mulling about that one. I just want more Mihawk. Is that too much to ask for? Even this guy got better merch. The world's greatest swordsman deserves better. I guess I'll just take my Zoro and Law stuff. That's cool too, I suppose. I also found a bunch of Chikawa stuff in a Kittyland store, and this is truly when you get to see where things start going downhill for me. I just like the funny little cartoon bear thing. What? Is that such a crime? I don't remember what we did the rest of the day. I think we just crashed and passed out. This trip, as surreal as it's been so far, has been absolutely taking a toll on me, and I desperately needed to just not move or talk or exist for a bit. We were doing so many different things that were all awesome, and hanging out with so many different people that were all awesome, but man, I am not built for extended periods of that much excitement and socializing. As much as I would like to change this fact, I'm also not a very active person. I know. Up until this trip, I was practically sitting down 24/7, working all the time to prep as much work as possible so I could have a guilt-free 3 weeks off, and my muscles were definitely starting to decay at that point. I looked at my phone's step meter thing, and there was one day where I literally got 300 steps. That's pathetic. And suddenly, I'm logging over 20,000 daily. My body was screaming. What the hell are you doing out there? Please stop. Plus, we were in Japan during the hottest, most humid time of the year. Every time we left the air-conditioned luxury of a building, we would immediately be drenched in sweat. Look, I'm used to the heat. I grew up in Arizona, but even this was too much. So yeah, crash and burn it was. Tokyo Disneyland was a bit underwhelming. It felt like a slightly worse version of the one in California because of the oddly spaced layout and surprisingly empty vibe. We did go to a Stitch-themed show thing, and as we were walking in, a worker stopped us and said, "Oh, excuse me, Stitch only speaks Japanese, like warning us it's not super tourist friendly, but I just think the statement of Stitch only speaks Japanese is hilarious. We went in anyway, and yep, Stitch only spoke Japanese. Kazoku. Yeah, overall, it was not the best thing we did, but apparently, I didn't know this, Japan has 2 Disneys, Disneyland and Disney Sea, and we went to Land, which is unanimously deemed the worst of the 2. So, oops, better luck next time. Jacob and I took 2 more rest days where we just turned to ash. Then up and at 'em, back to Osaka we go. This time we went to an Eve concert. Besides Hatsune Miku, the Japanese band Eve is the only other concert I've said I wanted to go see. I love their music videos they have for all their songs. It's always such beautiful animation. And by the way, they're the ones who sang the season 1 Jujutsu Kaisen anime opening theme, if you're lost. Earlier in the trip, Jacob just so happened to look up if they were doing a concert while we were there, and lo and behold, they were. He got some totally not scalped tickets, which turned out to be a super complicated process, so thank you, Jacob. You're the bestest friend I've ever had. Thank you for going through the trenches for silly old me. Anyway, the concert was so incredible. The atmosphere was fantastic. They had awesome visual effects going on. The glow bands a lot of people bought were perfectly synced to the music and colors on the stage, which really enhanced the experience. The music was great, which, I mean, of course it was. That was the whole reason we went in the first place. I talk about it more in the upcoming Miku video, but Japanese encores are so much different from the American ones. They're so quiet and polite. There is pretty much no screaming and cheering. It was just a long applause with a semi-whisper chant of encore, encore. And they also made us wait like 5 minutes for them to come back out. My hands were getting itchy just from clapping so much. That's how long it took. And then when they finally came out, they ended up doing like 5 extra songs. I mean, I'm not complaining, but after the 4th time thinking, man, that was a great last extra song. Well, time to head home. Wait, another? It starts getting a bit comedic. This is just a side tangent, but Jacob went off to use the bathroom before the show started and came back 10 minutes later, like, dude, this is crazy, but it took me a bit longer to find a bathroom because there were so many extra women's bathrooms, which is like, whoa, that's actually so smart. There's always such a huge line for the women's bathroom compared to the men's in any scenario. I was just shocked Japan was like, okay, then we'll make more women's bathrooms to fix that problem. Like it was so simple. I know in America it would probably turn into a stupid political thing, but it made me so happy Japan just implemented such an obvious and straightforward solution so easily for the gals. The next day we headed over to Universal, which was hands down the best amusement park I've ever been to. So they can do amusement parks well. First of all, Universal Japan is way more anime and manga focused than the ones in the States, which made it instantly more engaging for me. Jacob and I both agreed we would window shop for the first part of the day, and then buy all the things we wanted as we were leaving so we wouldn't have to lug around a bunch of bags all day. But we immediately saw a little One Piece shop and cracked. We just wanted to wear these One Piece headbands. That's rule-breaking worthy. We also got some towels because surprise, surprise, it was freaking hot. I know I've been complaining about the weather here and there, but my lord, it was miserably scorching. Japan has such a big culture around staying cool while outside, and I totally get it now. People would be walking around with little fans, ice packs, towels. A lot of women had parasols. I'll say, if we didn't get those towels, we probably could have passed out from heat stroke that day. Later on, I even ended up getting another towel. It was a cute Pikachu one, but I got it mainly because it was a cloak design. After soaking that thing in cold water and putting it on, my body temperature instantly lowered like 5 degrees. However, that meant I was walking around the park looking like this. Back to the awesome stuff. We did a bunch of attractions like watch a fun 4D Jujutsu Kaisen show where the seats move around, went on a super cool 3D VR Spider-Man ride. We tried to cool down by going on a Minions thing called Freeze Ray Sliders that claimed to cool riders down with a blast of chilled mist from a giant freeze ray. But we got on and absolutely did not even touch a drop of the mist because it never ended up getting in range of our cart. That felt like an actual tragedy at the time. There were a few big roller coasters we wanted to go on, but I get super motion sick and forgot to bring nausea medicine, so no roller coasters for us. But I shall return one day. The park, of course, had a bunch of cool themed restaurants, one of them being a super cool One Piece restaurant. Did I mention I like One Piece? There also was a special Sanji one, but we didn't know you needed a reservation, so phooey. It was awesome though, I love One Piece. After a few hours of rides and being broiled alive, we decided to fully cool off by going on the Jurassic Park ride. That's just giant splash mountain with dinosaurs. We cooked in line for probably a solid hour, and as soon as we were literally stepping foot inside the ride, it started pouring rain. Now that's just not fair. I don't even understand how that happened, but whatever. We started buying all the stuff we window shopped for as we waited for the One Piece live show to begin. Again, please refrain from judging. I am being vulnerable and open here. By the way, as we were walking around, we stumbled onto a little Mario-themed show just out in a courtyard area. They played some fun little custom songs and had all these dancers alongside the mascots. And then out of nowhere, they started absolutely blasting the crowd with like gallons of water. I didn't even see it coming. It was like firefighters showed up to put out a giant fire, except the fire was a bunch of Japanese people. The time came and we got to file in for the special One Piece live show, and even though Jacob and I didn't understand a single part of it because it was all in Japanese, it was awesome, and the costume design was phenomenal. It was a bit unfortunate though, because the seats were all in like a half circle formation around the stage. As much as they tried to make the show enjoyable from all angles, it was pretty hard to see the main things going on in the center. My only true complaint though is that Zoro didn't come to our side at all. All the other characters rotated around so we could see them, but Zoro only did it at the very end to take a bow. Also, Mihawk being included would have been nice, but it's okay. By the time we got to enter Nintendo Land, it was like 9 p.m. We got up at 6 a.m. by the way, so we pretty much just rode the Yoshi's Island ride they don't have in the States and headed home because that's all the energy we had left. But even just seeing that, it was miles better than the one in the States. Also, we picked up a little dinner at the 7-Eleven near our hotel. 7-Eleven is actually awesome in Japan, by the way. And they had a few little Chicoa plushie keychains, and I bought them. Just being transparent here. We woke up early the next morning to catch our flight back to Tokyo and hurried over to the Kirby Cafe. Emily actually booked the reservation for us. She was meant to also be there, but she was only able to get 2 seats and gave them to us as a gift. Emily, I will always be indebted to you for your sacrifice. The cafe itself was so well decorated with all these little Kirby things, and the menu was adorable. I got the star curry and a magical little fruity drink with a Kirby marshmallow that triggered my cute aggression. Jacob got the pizza and a Kirby burger, but since he made modifications, the staff asked him to not post a picture of the burger to the public. Like, they didn't know he was a content creator or anything. I guess they just didn't want the public to see a naked Kirby burger. We also both got desserts. I already decided I was gonna consume the Kirby. The presentation was beautiful. It was literal art on a plate. Taste-wise, it was decent. The body was some sort of gelatin, which I wasn't too crazy about, but the rest was super tasty. I did my best, but he ended up looking like he was in a horrific accident when I threw in the towel. The cafe also has a special little private store connected to it. And yeah, what you expect happened definitely happened. We left with full bellies and bags, continued to look around the shopping center the cafe was connected to, and ended up walking into a gacha store. I am about to be very vulnerable with you here. This is one of the lowest points of my entire life. Please don't think too much less of me after what happened in that gacha store. So I walk in, spot Chiikawa, beeline it to the machine, obviously. Like I mentioned before, I'm only interested in Chiikawa, so I was only playing for him. But by the cursed luck of the gacha gods, I just could not get him. I was going back and forth between the machine and the coin exchange, getting multiples of every other little guy, but no Chiikawa. I could feel the workers' glances at me, probably because the desk they were standing behind was right next to the machine I was grinding. But after way too much money, he dropped. I got my well-earned, horribly priced at that point, Chiikawa. I then started looking at all the other machines, putting some coins in a few here and there, until I stopped at one that had a line of animals playing band instruments. They were very silly, but there was a little pigeon holding up cymbals, and I really wanted to get him for Jordan and Kelsey. In went the coins. Tiger, elephant, fox. It was happening again. Everything except the one I wanted. Which I know more or less that's the luck with gachas, but it was getting to the point where I was getting surprised the pigeon was dodging me as much as it was. Surely the next one. What? Eventually, I had to go back to the coin exchange, and as I was about to put in more money, I saw out of the corner of my eye one of the workers peek out and take a look in horror at all the gachapons that were sitting at the top of my bag. They then raised up their hand and said something in Japanese while shaking their head, and I knew in my heart I was being cut off. No, please! I can stop whenever. Just a few more hits and I'm done. The pigeon is next. I can feel it. Why do you look afraid? What's under the desk? I got kicked out of a gacha store. I had hit an all-time low. I told my friends and they said they probably just thought I was gonna try and resell them, but I don't even know if that would even make it sound better knowing I was getting so many that they thought I was robbing them blind. I just wanted my little Chiikawa and pigeon with symbols. We made dinner plans that night with a friend and we were just about to grab a taxi and head back to freshen up, but Jacob and I caught sight of a fun anime and goodies shop. Who do we think we are? People with self-control? We'll make it quick! We rushed in and split up for optimization. As I was looking around, I saw it. A whole section dedicated to Chiikawa. It was like someone put a freshly baked pie on a windowsill, and I was suddenly floating over to it. My eyes were zoned in, making sure I saw every single thing possible, putting Chiikawa after Chiikawa in the basket. Jacob eventually came over and showed me a picture he took on his phone. In my tunnel vision, all my eyes registered was that the picture showed more Chiikawa in the store. I immediately went feral. Where? Jacob's eyebrows went up in surprise and maybe a bit of fear. And as I looked at the photo again, I realized Jacob wasn't showing me a picture of a different Chiikawa section. He was showing me a picture of me at the current Chiikawa section I was standing in because he thought it was funny. And in my Chiikawa brain rot, I didn't even register I was in the picture. I just saw more Chiikawa and went obsessive. This is how I am. Either stand by me or leave. No, I don't need an intervention. Put it away. We left. I looked longingly at the crane machine Chiikawas we didn't have time for, and we made it in time for dinner. Plus, we ended up in another arcade nearby anyway, and I got myself a Chiikawa from one of those machines, so it worked out. Stop. I don't want to hear it. Finally, we were reaching the end of our trip. We spent the last day grabbing lunch with Emily and Didus. There was a cool One Piece scavenger hunt event going on, so we also did that with them. We basically had to walk around Shibuya and find special One Piece trading card posters hidden around the area, and if we found enough along with the special card of the day, we could get a limited edition mystery card. It was fun, but also hot. And all my clothes were sticking to my body. Didus generously let me borrow his umbrella, and I jumped for joy as he showed me it was coincidentally Chiikawa themed. I don't know what's wrong with me. All I know is that bear makes me happy. We spent a few hours completing the scavenger hunt, got our special cards, and bid them farewell. Always good to see you guys. Bye-bye. I accidentally stole Didus' umbrella. It looked so calculated. They knew how much I was obsessed with Chiikawa. They'd been watching my Instagram stories. Follow if you want to see brain rot in real time. Emily, I have the Chiikawa umbrella. I didn't mean to steal it, I promise. It's not what it looks like. Since we were leaving in the morning and wouldn't be seeing them again, they just let me keep it. But the side-eye Jacob gave me the rest of the way back. I didn't mean to— stop it! Getting back to the apartment, reality hit us hard. We needed just a few more suitcases. Again. In total, we ended up buying 6 extra suitcases to hold everything we collectively bought. And even then, it was a struggle making it fit. Jacob ended up going professional Tetris mode, perfectly fitting everything into the suitcases with quite literally no extra room to spare. We came to Japan each with a backpack, carry-on, and 1 extra big suitcase, and we're leaving with altogether 8 suitcases and 4 backpacks. We were lucky the taxi driver had a big enough car to fit everything because we didn't have much of a game plan if it didn't. Off to the airport we went, where we checked all of our excessive bags, paid a couple fees, boarded our flight, and headed home. That trip will go down as one of the best trips I've ever gone on. It felt like it turned into a celebration of everything that makes me. All of my hobbies and interests, Pokemon, One Piece, at the last minute, Chikoa. We got to do so many incredible things and were given so many opportunities I'd never even thought I could be a part of. I got to see so many friends that are normally so far away, ate some of the best meals of my life, and overall was just really happy, especially getting to spend it all with my best friend Jacob. By the way, if you wanted to know why in the world we got so many things, yes, a lot of it was for us. 90% of it all was for our friends. 100% of the Chicoa stuff was mine, but that's besides the point. If you want to see what we got them, also credit where credit is due, the majority of it all was from Jacob, because he's a great gift giver and even more incredible friend to the people around him. We're all nothing short of lucky to be able to call him our friend. You can go watch his Japan video. I assume it's already up, because we had to animate a frickin' 30-minute long video. My god, it was a lot. Thanks for sticking around. But yeah, I just had an unforgettable trip, and I owe the opportunity to the Pokemon Company for inviting us to Japan in the first place. I'm extremely lucky to be in the position I am, and will be forever grateful. Do you ever think to yourself, man, why is it so hard for me to just do the things I need to do, and focus, and remember things, and manage my time, and be organized, and remember things, and not get sidetracked? Ha! Yeah, me neither. When I was a kid, I was pretty much the picture-perfect depiction of a good student. I was well-organized, always turned in my work on time, got good grades. I even did my homework on Fridays instead of procrastinating until Sunday night. Sure, I didn't like studying and found it hard to focus during it, but who didn't? Saying all those qualities put together, that doesn't sound like the brain of someone with any kind of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, does it? I was well-behaved, didn't feel like I struggled much in school, and didn't cause any trouble. That is, up until I moved out of my parents' house for the first time to go to college. Gradually, I started slipping. I began skipping classes a bit when I just didn't feel like going, would wait until the last moment to start classwork, and lost a lot of motivation because I wasn't interested in any of my schoolwork. But overall, even though it was pretty out of character for me, I chalked it all up to the fact I was simply over going to school. At the same time, my YouTube was really kicking off, and all I wanted to do was that. Of course, I wasn't gonna be as good of a student when the silly YouTube videos were doing numbers. I finished a single year of college and convinced my parents to let me take a gap year to see where this YouTube thing can take me. Spoiler alert, the gap year turned into me never going back. I'm a college dropout. So great, I've eliminated the boring school part of my life that weighs me down. Now I can go back to being organized with my new exciting passion job, which entails being my own boss and having to manage and assign myself all of my own responsibilities 24/7. Why are the voices not getting quieter? It's almost like everything was going backwards. I was having a much harder time staying organized and focused. If I didn't want to do a certain type of work, I would have to shackle myself down in basically an isolation chamber to be able to get it done. If I found a new interest, it was all I could think about. And why is it so easy to suddenly be on your roof watching a YouTube video on how to know when you need new shingles? I really didn't get it. Child me had it held together more than current me. What went wrong? I could look back and recognize how everything used to be so perfect and easy. Look at tiny Jaiden and all her ducks in that row. I used to color code every single binder I owned, and now I don't even know where I placed the $20 I literally just had in my hand 3 minutes ago. I haven't even left the room. Genuinely, where could it can go? Despite feeling like I was downward spiraling for multiple years, I never suspected it could be something related to a genetic neurodevelopmental disorder. I just thought I wasn't trying hard enough and being lazy, or applying myself like I used to. Oh, the woes of turning into an adult, I suppose. Maybe the best years of your life truly are in high school. How upsetting. I didn't even enjoy those either. But then one day I got a text from my brother. I got diagnosed with ADHD. It was a pretty big surprise for me because growing up, he never really seemed to show any of the typical symptoms you associate with ADHD. You know, people would always describe ADHD to me as super hyper kids who would run around the room and scream and generally be a lot. That wasn't my brother. He was quiet and well behaved like I was. But when he started explaining his symptoms, the gears started turning. Yeah, I've always struggled a lot with focusing in school and having things hold my attention when it's boring. But like, I could hyperfixate on things I'm interested in and get really passionate about that stuff. Hearing him talk about his personal symptoms of ADHD made a lot of sense, and I felt very freshly educated on the topic. And you'd think that I would immediately start looking into getting a diagnosis for myself, because if you were paying attention, my brother's experiences all sounded very similar to the same struggles I've been having in my own life, but related to work instead of school, because I dropped out. But nope, I was just like, good for you, bro. Happy for you. Or, I'm sorry, I don't know. Anyway, back to struggling to simply open up my drawing program as if 2 blocks of iron were welded to my wrists. Imbalance of brain chemicals? Nah, this just happens from time to time. It's normal. Just the laziness kicking in. I hate Mondays, am I right? Even though I didn't instantly think there was a possibility of me also having ADHD, the mental seed was planted. It's genetic, so I knew subconsciously it ran in the bloodline. It took a few years after my brother was diagnosed for me to really sit down with myself and consider that I, too, could have ADHD. Shocking revelation, I know. Foreshadowing, where did you come from? Things in the focus and productivity department were just getting worse and worse. I had the attention span of a cartoon dog, would completely forget things as soon as they entered my head, would hyperfixate on random stuff like an addict, and there was constant civil war happening inside my head to get one thing done, even though I knew it would only take like 15 minutes. You don't understand. It feels like physical torture to make myself sit down and lip sync a simple scene, like most of the time. You know, the thing I've been doing for 10 years at this point and am definitely used to doing. And yeah, once I've gotten going, then I'm honed in and you have to pry me away from it with a crowbar. I'm aware of that part. But nah, I'm still gonna scrap with myself to plant my ass in that chair because I don't even know why at this point. The biggest thing holding me back from feeling like I had ADHD has always been the simple memory of being in school and having my shit together. I know what it feels like to be on top of things and to be organized. I had it all in the palm of my little child hand. I just needed to summon it again with a bit more effort. But a light switched off in my brain and suddenly I'm just not capable of the things I used to be. And it feels pathetic. Simple tasks are such a mental burden, it feels like I'm out of control but can't do anything about it. So finally, I figured I would try and get myself diagnosed. What did I have to lose? If anything, they just tell me, no, you don't have ADHD, try a little harder and stop complaining. And yes, of course it took me like 8 months after deciding to get diagnosed to schedule the actual appointment. What did you expect? That's like the first checkmark box on the ADHD list. I started seeing a psychologist and he would ask the typical, do you have a hard time focusing? And I'd go, yeah, like this one time yesterday, and then he writes something down as I continue rambling on this hyper-specific example way too long for a neurotypical person. I met with him for a few weeks and then it came down to diagnosis day. The nerves, man. I was so ready for him to say I'm a normal person who needs to suck it up. But instead, he was like, okay, so yeah, you definitely exhibit symptoms of someone with the inattentive type of ADHD. And autism. Yippee! My struggles are justified. I'm not crazy. Wait, what was that last part? He explained all the different ways ADHD affects me and the different areas I struggle with compared to others. He even gave me a 37-page document of his conclusions and information on how my brain works, with graphs and pictures. I've read through it all a bunch of times now, and it's already really helped me understand how I tick. I call them the autism docs, but I'm not gonna get into that side of the diagnosis. Let's just brush that one away for now. There's a couple types of ADHD you can have: hyperactive, inattentive, and combined. which is both hyperactive and inattentive. Hyperactive is the type people typically go to when they think of a loud kid who can't sit still. People with this kind normally need to fidget, have low patience, tend to talk a lot, and have trouble staying seated, especially when they're expected to, like in a meeting or school. Inattentive is the one where someone experiences difficulty in focus, memory, organization, has a low attention span. That's the one I have. It's self-explanatory, but if you have the combined type of ADHD, then you got it all. ADHD jackpot right there, my friend. I brought up during the appointments that I used to be such a good kid in school with seemingly zero ADHD symptoms, and how that part has always confused me. And he had a couple hypotheses about it. One, since my mom has always been a big source of my organizational influence, I was able to depend and lean on her for the majority of my school life for it. I felt like I was naturally capable of staying on top of things because she was right behind me the whole time, reminding me and guiding me through stuff. So when I moved out, everything started crumbling, which lines up pretty perfectly to when I did start struggling. Another explanation he gave was the fact that ADHD affects women differently than men, which is also less researched. Love to hear that one. Not only do women tend to be able to mask their symptoms better than guys, so it goes much more unnoticed, but they also experience ADHD differently. And research says there's a chance it can just start affecting women later in life. I'm no ADHD scientist though, that's just what I've been told by specialists. I don't know, I've just got the dang thing. Either way, those two explanations make a lot of sense to me and have since put my weird ADHD imposter syndrome to rest. I didn't really think that getting a diagnosis would change much about how I go about my life, but since getting my ADHD certificate and lollipop, it's completely revolutionized how I think and go about getting things done. It's still hard to get my ass into gear when I need to do one normal thing that's not difficult, but I'm much less hard on myself and will strike almost like these kinds of mental deals to loophole myself into getting things done. Like, for example, if I really don't want to edit a video, I'll say to myself, okay, I know it's gonna be super hard for me to immediately start that task, so I'll get myself into the mindset of getting things done by doing a simple other task I don't find difficult, like cleaning my room. That way, I'll feel productive and can transition that into tackling the original task much easier. It doesn't always work, but it's the mindset change and overall understanding that sometimes I'm gonna have to go about things in different ways that's helped me a lot. Also, after being diagnosed with ADHD, I didn't have much desire to get medicated. I figured just knowing I have it would be enough to get things into gear, and I didn't really need medication that badly. But the content creator in me also thought, well, if I'm gonna write a script about having ADHD, it would be nice to be able to talk about what it's like to be medicated, even just for a day. So I got prescribed good old classic instant release Adderall. Instant release means I don't have to take it every day. I can just take it when I need to get stuff done. It affects me immediately and then wears off after a few hours. There's also extended release, which is the kind you take every day and gives you a constant steady stream of medication. It wasn't until I had the Adderall in my hands when I realized the idea of taking it for the first time made me nervous. Like, what is this thing gonna do to me? I have so many friends with ADHD, honestly a higher ratio than friends without it. That's how it goes in content creation. All these MFs have it. They were all telling me that it's awesome, how you'll take it and immediately feel like a god, and you can do anything and it's incredible. And yeah, that sounds great, but also like, what the hell? What do you mean I take this little pill and suddenly all of my problems seemingly disappear and I gain superpowers? That's scary. That sounds like the thing every adult in a 20-mile radius warned us about when we were kids. Am I gonna feel like a completely different person? I don't know if I'm ready to experience immortality. I put off taking Adderall for so long because I was irrationally scared of the tiny blue pill, but coincidentally, I really needed to get a script done. If I take too long to write a video script, then the team runs out of work to do, and then I have a bunch of people sitting around and waiting for me to give them more work so they can pay their bills and survive and stuff. But for the freaking life of me, I just could not get myself to sit down and write that script. My body and soul found it mentally easier to backflip off a bridge than write words on the computer. After literally 2 months of my brain going, ooh, you better write that script. I won't let you enjoy a single moment of your life if you aren't writing that script. I don't wanna. Get up, go to the bridge. After that constant loop, I finally swallowed my fears and took my first Adderall. I had talked to James a lot about what Adderall is like since he's been on it for a few years now. And after I took one, I was messaging him like, I did it. I ate an Adderall. How long does it normally take to start? How do I know? What do I do? And he was helping me a lot and giving me tips. Then, like 20 minutes later, I felt it. All the non-stop thoughts going on in my brain went silent. I could think clearly and in like a line. My mind wasn't racing a mile a minute. I was able to sit behind my laptop and write. It was incredible. I was messaging all my friends about it the entire time. I can write my script and not get distracted. I don't have to take a mental break every 10 minutes. I can remember things. Kelsey sent me a message and I thought, I'll check that in a bit. And I remembered to check in a bit. And respond! When I opened a new tab to look something up, I didn't go down a random unrelated rabbit hole. I picked up my phone to check something and didn't impulsively scroll Twitter for an hour. I can write words so easily. How am I doing this? What do you mean I can feel like this whenever I want if I just eat the tiny blue pill? I refuse to believe regular people can function like this on a day-to-day basis. No way. It wouldn't be fair. You guys don't have loud, non-stop voices in your heads preventing you from doing normal things? Come on, just admit it. You can't pick something up and immediately keep remembering what you were supposed to be doing with it. You always forget and feel crazy. Come on. Come on. I was so suspicious that on Adderall, either nothing would happen and I just wouldn't feel anything, or I would feel like I'm a totally different person experiencing some higher than life manic episode. But no, I just felt like myself, but with my shit together. And that's the part I couldn't believe. After 2 months of war, I finally was able to plant myself down and write my damn script. You wanna know what script I wrote while experiencing Adderall for the first time? This one. I was struggling to write a script about ADHD, and the thing that finally pulled it out of me was Adderall. Come on, you gotta admit that's funny. Yeah, it was great. I didn't think my head was loud before, or I was that impulsive, or had that hard of a time focusing. But now that I've been able to peacefully sit in one spot for hours and not need to take a break, or check social media, or get distracted by some stupid tangent I don't actually care about, yeah, this changes things. I still can't believe what I was able to accomplish. Writing a script in 3 hours. Compared to my typical 12 hours. AKA one mediocre thing with no struggle at all. And you want to know what I did right after I wrote this script? I immediately got up and cleaned the bird's room. Without rotting in bed for 3 hours beforehand. I just went from one task to another. Without thinking about it. All you neurotypical people must be thinking I'm literally pathetic and useless. But I know my ADHD brethren are out of their chairs right now hearing that. I'm not standing before you all to give you scientific data and information on ADHD, or diagnose you, or even promote prescribed drugs. I'm just here to talk about a big and recent experience in my life, how much of an impact and effect it's had on me, and how awesome feeling normal is. Seriously, being able to take a deep breath in mental silence is incredible. Cherish that feeling if you don't have a neurodevelopmental disorder. It took me 26 years to realize my woes were not actually woes, but symptoms of brain chemical deficiency. I'm writing this video, all things considered, pretty recently after being diagnosed, and I'm still trying to learn how to rebuild my life in a way that lets me optimize my productivity and get things done at a normal level. But so far, I've come so much further than I thought I could simply by knowing what's going on up there in the old noodle. And Adderall. If you're on the fence about being diagnosed with something, I get it. It's scary. It's scary to think you might have it, and it's also scary to think you might not have it. It's an odd place to be. But for me, having a concrete answer from a professional is what got me to finally stop feeling stuck in place and actually start moving forward again. It's been great. I'm excited to keep learning more things about how my mind works and find new ways to improve my day-to-day life. Cheers to getting normal shit done. In case you missed it, I have new merch! For a limited time, you can get yourself a new and improved Ari plush and a completely new soft Ari jacket. I love both of these products, and up until June 23rd, they could be all yours! If you miss it, you'll never know how fluffy and pillowy the jacket is. Oh, it's like a cloud. Or how cuddly and friend-shaped the plush is. Plus, it's a great way to support both me and the team while we continue to make animations for you. Check them out at JaidenAnimations.com. Thanks for watching the video, and good luck simply existing to all my ADHD brethren out there. I'm right there with you. I believe one day you'll respond to that message in your inbox. Hang in there. Okay, before I even say anything, let's lay out some ground rules. This is probably gonna be the most open I'll ever get about my personal life. I know I've shared tidbits of myself and life through little stories, but when it comes to personal stuff, I'm very private. Especially within the past few years. I'm gonna be talking in very general surface level terms because specific personal details are for me to know, and in the nicest way possible, none of your business. Basically, this is something I want to talk about, share, and bring a spotlight to. But at the same time, you get the Cliff Notes version. So no trying to assume or guess anything beyond what I'm sharing within this video. At the end of the day, we're all just strangers refusing to listen to the stranger danger rule. Alright, formalities aside, let's get into it. I've come to realize that I'm ARO-ACE, which stands for Aromantic Asexual. And I know what you're thinking. That's not gay. What the hell is that? And you know what? That is completely fair, because I didn't know what that was either. Aromantic and asexual are two different things, and I'm gonna break them down to you separately, starting with aromantic, because no one really knows what that one is. And also, it's my personal favorite. Someone who's aromantic is defined as a person who feels very little to no romantic attraction to anyone at all. So like, they might not develop crushes on people, or feel the need to be in a romantic relationship with anyone. Very general terms, but hopefully you kinda get the gist. If not, here's a little story example from me. Growing up, I never developed crushes on anyone. I remember when I was in 5th grade, kids were talking about their crushes left and right, and it was starting to feel like something I had to experience too, just because I thought that's just what happens. Don't make fun of 9-year-old me, I was a sheep. Anyway, I decided I needed to have a crush because that's just what happens to people. And I very robotically chose this random kid in the class who we can call Pikachu. That's not his name. He didn't mean anything to me and I didn't do anything about this crush. Like, I didn't tell anyone or anything. It was just a headcanon thing for me to feel up to speed and like I was hitting my normal human emotions quota. But it's funny because on Valentine's Day, you know how in elementary school everyone would bring cheesy Walmart Valentine's cards for everyone in the class, and then you'd have a box full of candy and hollow emotions from everyone. Well, my school did that. When I went through my box, I pulled out Pikachu's Valentine and thought to myself, someone who has a crush on someone would keep this. I think. So I put Pikachu's copy-paste Batman Valentine in my drawer and promptly forgot about it because it meant nothing to me, but hey, that's just what I thought I was supposed to do. Man, I'm so good at this. Then like a year or so later when my mom was going through my room, she pulled out the card and was like, why do you have this? And I was like, honestly, I have no idea. Years passed, I entered junior high and thought to myself, all right, this is the time where people start developing crushes and then do something about it. Like get into relationships or something. So I was like preparing to be interested in people. On the first day of school, I scoped out the room to see if there was anyone that I thought looked like someone I could develop a crush on. And this was when classes started being divided up into periods, so there were like 6 batches of people I sifted through. But no one caught my eye, and I thought, man, unlucky. Went through the whole school year, next year rolled around, classes changed, I did the same potentials crush scoping again, and the same thing happened. I wasn't drawn to anyone at all. Man. Unlucky again! Every year I thought something would change, especially going into high school when people started actually hitting puberty and were getting conventionally attractive. But my entire school life, grades kindergarten to senior year, which I'm pretty sure is like 13 years, I wasn't interested in a single person throughout any of it. And what's funny was I was thinking, man, what's the deal? Why is no one attractive? And I went to a big high school. There were like 3,500 students there. Surely I am not the outlier in this formula. Why are none of you attractive? By the time I was going to college, I really felt like I had to find someone. It felt like I was falling behind the curve, or if I was gonna find someone, it was gonna have to happen now. I made a lot of new friends, and that's when I thought I developed my first genuine crush. Long story short, in hindsight, no, it wasn't a crush and I was just wrong. I just met someone who I thought was cool and funny and had a really strong desire to be close to them. But looking back, knowing what I do now, it wasn't in a romantic way. I realized I can get very excited and tunnel vision on people I think are really cool or interesting and kind of obsess over getting to know them or just want to spend a lot of time with them. But whenever I got into those tunnel vision moments, if I sat down and asked myself if I actually wanted to be in a relationship with them and hold hands or cuddle or kiss, the answer was not really, but if they wanted to, I could go along with it. Which I do not think is right. In my very old flirting video, which I refuse to rewatch, I think at one point in it, I said something along the lines of, if you're interested in someone but they just want to be friends, I don't understand why some people can't deal with that. And that was primarily because I didn't realize there was an emotional difference between a crush or falling in love and just being really good friends with someone. So, oops, sorry for the bad take, I think. I really just thought having a crush on someone was wanting to be their #1 best friend. Look, I said don't make fun of me. To me, it used to feel like if I was wanting to become friends with someone to that high of a degree, that would be the next step or justify why I wanted to put this much time, effort, and energy into one person. And it didn't feel right or even fair going through all of this with someone and then tell them they're just a friend. I don't know, it just didn't feel like it made sense, even though I really didn't technically see them in a romantic way. I just didn't understand what was going on really, or that there was supposed to be real emotions instead of a logical understanding of steps. And the fact that I was under the assumption that I was supposed to be interested in people in a romantic way didn't help with anything. I always preferred to stay good friends, but never felt like I could have that, and I worried that if I said no, that we would just start drifting apart, which I obviously didn't want either. It's been a very long journey discovering this about myself. Everything I'm saying has all been extremely subconscious and not understood or defined for many years. I even used to think I was bi or pan for the longest time because I would think to myself, well, bi is being interested in both genders. I don't really care for either, but 0 is equal to 0, so I guess I'm bi or pan. I got math involved. If I knew what aromanticism was when I was growing up, things would have been a lot less complicated for me a lot sooner. I think it's mainly because people don't really talk about it or even know what it is or that it's real. Romance and love is the #1 most talked about topic on the planet. Everything I've been taught or learned through society is that love and romance is everywhere. Everyone feels it, and it's gonna happen to you. Just a funny little note, there was a point where I was listening to some generic romance song on the radio. You know, like all of them. And I just suddenly thought to myself, wait, do people actually feel these things towards each other? Like all these mushy lyrics are real emotions? They're not joking? And that's when I started feeling like something was different. I approached romance under the blanket term thought of, sure, why not? And didn't recognize it was actually a feeling, which might sound stupid, but look, I don't know. No one presented me with any other options. I did a lot of rationalizing. If someone ever expressed romantic interest in me, I would mentally make a kind of logical list of their pros and cons and the pros and cons of what a relationship would look like with them based on what I knew about them as a person. I didn't realize there was supposed to be an extra, excited feeling, or the fact that you're not supposed to think about it as if it were a business exchange. I understand compatibility is a huge important variable when it comes to sharing a relationship with someone, but at the end of the day, it's still, apparently, still a very emotionally driven thing. And I literally had to make that discovery and teach it to myself. Now, I'm gonna talk about being asexual very briefly, and I'm gonna preface it with, let's all just be mature about this, alright? We're all pretending to be adults here. I've got my eye on some of you. Behave! Okay, this is definitely treading into uncomfortable personal boundary territory for me, but yeah, I do want to share that I'm asexual too, which is defined as someone who feels little to no intimate attraction to anyone. Look, I know we said we're all adults, but I'm still gonna dance around the vocabulary, alright? Yes, there's a difference between romantic and intimate attraction. Little side note, I will say you can experience romantic attraction to someone but no intimate attraction, or you can experience intimate attraction but no romantic attraction. You can be one and not the other. It's not necessarily a package deal. Most people feel both, and I do not feel either. Anyway, I have never been magnetically attracted to the look or shape of a single person in my entire life, and did not realize it was a real thing until very recently. I'm able to identify when someone looks conventionally attractive, like by textbook definition, but I never realized people are genuinely drawn to people they think are attractive. I didn't know that people could just see someone and be like, wow, they're gorgeous. I would love to get to know that person, or maybe go on a date with them, or whatever else you people do. I didn't think it was real. I thought people were exaggerating or something. I don't know. And I also couldn't believe that some people feel that with multiple people. Or like celebrities, which sounds absolutely exhausting. It ties back to when I was in school, like looking around for people to like. It makes sense now that no one caught my eye because that doesn't happen to me. I was just wasting my time for 13 years. I feel like such a fool. Now, there's an easy assumption to make about asexual people and that they all have zero interest in being intimate with anyone at all, which actually isn't true. Some of them are genuinely turned off by it, and some aren't. Some reasons would be that they just don't mind it, or they want to make their partner happy, or enjoy the emotional closeness of it. There's a million different reasons and a million different people. Am I sharing what kind of a people I am? Nope. And you don't know me personally enough in the slightest to be able to try and parasocially analyze where I stand on that spectrum. I'm just here to say I am this. We are moving on. When I stumbled onto the term aro ace and started realizing I fall into that category, it helped me feel much more confident and sure of myself. I've read a lot about how people say they felt broken or that something was wrong with them. But honestly, I was the complete opposite. Coming from my very biased perspective, I think aro ace is one of, if not the coolest and most confident orientations out there. Not needing a single gram of romantic or intimate validation from anyone is so cool. All you need is yourself to be happy, maybe friends and family too. And birds. The more I came to terms with the fact I'm aro ace, the more empowered and capable I felt. But at the same time, I was also starting to feel more alone and isolated. As cool and amazing and unique and awesome as I think it is, it can be really hard for other people to relate to or even understand. Everyone else and their orientations are able to bond and relate to the love and romance aspects, and we're over here like, we don't do that. I don't even know if I'm explaining it very well. It kind of does go against everything everyone's ever been taught about anything. Romance is taught to be a basic assumed emotion, which I do think is a bit misleading. A common argument used against the aro ace orientation is that romance and intimacy is what makes someone human. But I mean, I don't know, lots of birds mate for life, which is a better ratio than people, and all animals get frisky. You know, that's just how they became not extinct. It's not an exclusive to humans thing. If I were to guess, I would assume the thing that makes someone human is basic empathy. Like, I'm not an emotionalist monster. I can still love people. I love my family and my pets, just platonically. And I would hope that you're the same. I just don't experience romantic love, which, I don't know, I don't think that's harming anyone. Definitely not me. I'm having the time of my life. I don't think you need to be in a relationship to be happy. And if you don't want to be just on your own, I think there's many types of people in relationships that push the boundaries of what a conventional relationship looks like. Telling someone that they need to be in a romantic relationship to be happy and fulfilled is weird. And then when that person says they're not happy, they're told relationships take a lot of work and that's just how it goes. And that's also weird. I don't know. I also think it's weird that once someone reaches a certain age, people inherently start thinking it's sad they're not in a romantic relationship or assume they're lonely and sad. No one thinks a child is sad and lonely just because they're not in a long-term relationship. I don't know. I don't get it. And I also think I'm rambling. At the end of the day, it's all very complicated to talk about these things, especially because I don't know the feelings I'm supposed to be feeling, let alone talk about. I just know for me, the terms aromantic and asexual are able to articulate things I was subconsciously feeling and thinking before I even realized I was feeling and thinking them. I don't plan on talking about this very much, if at all, ever again. I just want to play my silly little video games, maybe tell a story here or there. But I wanted to bring the orientations to the surface and try to get more representation out there because I thought if I could help more people become more aware of this, then that would be awesome. I was confused as hell for a while and could have used something like this. It's a real thing. You don't have to feel any sort of romance or whatever to be considered a real person. Personally, I think it's really cool and badass. And don't be afraid to look more into aromanticism or asexualism if any of what I said in this video resonated with you to any degree. Like I said, this is all very surface level stuff. They're both much larger spectrums than you'd think, and maybe you fall under some umbrella category with them. I don't know. Or not. Either way, this has all been my personal experience with this stuff. Is there more for me to figure out within it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. It can get pretty complicated and confusing. Haha, awesome. Will I be sharing any of that with you? Nope, no way. This is all you get. Hope you can understand even just a little of what I talked about. And if not, that's totally fine. I just hope you can be nice. Thanks for listening. I never really intended on making this video because I haven't really felt a strong urge to, like, I don't like using this phrase for myself, but come out. But I did end up wanting to make the video to make people more aware of this stuff because I think it's important and someone has to. There's not really that many people doing it right now. Anyway, yeah, just moving forward, I guess. See you later. When Carl Jacobs popped up in my DMs asking if I wanted to be in Mr. Beast's upcoming video, I'll be honest, my gut reaction was fear. Mr. Beast has basically become YouTube's own mad scientist. He can snap his fingers and shape reality at this point. Despite part of me thinking I should just stay in the comfort of my own home, I felt really honored to be invited and kinda just wanted to show up, say hi, and then realistically go home within the first round of eliminations. I accepted the ominous invitation and before I knew it was flying to North Carolina being handed a custom uniform all before even knowing what I actually just signed up for. I didn't even know if there was a prize for the winner at this point. Walking into the green room, I was expecting to not know anyone, but to my relief, I saw a lot of familiar faces. I even used this time to ask MatPat what it was like to meet Scott Cawthorn, and he told me FNAF secrets. So already this trip was more than worth it. Eventually, we were herded down a long, mysterious hallway until we saw it. The Mr. Beast cube. After everyone was filed inside, we were told the last person to leave the cube would be deemed the winner. And also win $1 million for their subscribers. This is for $1 million? The challenge began. Immediately, people started jumping in the giant pile of real money that was inside, throwing handfuls of bills in the air, laughing, mingling. To pass the time, James and I drew our cartoon characters out of dollar bills on the floor. The staff came in and ended up giving everyone their own personal vlog camera to document their POV of the challenge. And I think I genuinely was the only person who didn't record a single second of footage on that thing. I just thought, I'm not gonna use this footage because I'm not gonna make a video out of it, and they're gonna have plenty of other people's footage to use. In hindsight, maybe it would have been a good idea to record something, just in case. I don't know, maybe the Mr. Beast team would end up actually wanting to use some of my footage. Who's to say? After maybe an hour or two, Jimmy came out for the first bonus challenge. A single free throw. Miss and you're eliminated, but make it, and not only do you get to come back into the cube, you also win a Cybertruck for one of your subscribers. They had 50 people's subscribers just in a room waiting for something to happen. I'll be honest, when Jimmy explained the extra credit challenge, I was like, hell no, I'm not going up to miss a free throw and leave immediately after nothing's happened yet. If my subscriber back there knew what was going on, they 100% would have understood they weren't getting called up for nothing. If I remember correctly, maybe 2 people ended up making their baskets and 3 people were eliminated. I could be wrong. I don't remember because I didn't vlog it. While chatting with friends, Ludwig walked up and asked if I wanted to do a dice bet. With nothing else to do, I agreed. And to no one's surprise, I lost. And an evil expression washed over Ludwig's face. Alright, since you lost, I want you to walk up to Kai Sanat and introduce yourself with, "Hi Kai, I'm Jaiden. So which of my videos have you seen?" Maybe I should have just missed a free throw. "Hey Kai, there's someone I want you to meet." "Hey man, I'm Jaiden. Nice to meet you. So, which of my videos have you seen?" Excuse me? Holy shit, I'm gonna kill myself. "Oh, so which of my videos have you seen?" Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't seen any, I don't think. Ha! That's okay. Nice meeting you. Bye. Kai was super chill and nice about it, but oh my god, I wanted to rip my skin off. I'm stuck in this cube with him until further notice, and it's all Ludwig's fault with his stupid dice. I hate it in here. Let me out. Oh, hi, Jimmy. We were told to gather up in groups of 5, designating one as a team captain who will have immunity for the next challenge. I was with James, Schlatt, Ludwig, and Charlie Moist Critical, using the dice to choose the captain. This time, I actually rolled highest, but reassigned it to Ludwig because I couldn't cope with the idea of possibly being responsible for a teammate's elimination. And then it was revealed captains would just have to assign their teammates a shape for the Squid Game Honeycomb Challenge. Okay. Well, I definitely overthought that one. I had triangle, James got circle, Charlie was star, and Schlatt unfortunately got umbrella. The 10-minute timer began, and everyone started deploying various different strategies to get their cookie shape out. Charlie used a new technique called huck as much spit as you can into the tin to dissolve it all. It was really gross. He ended up filling the tin almost to the top with spit. By the end, 2 people with stars were eliminated, and not a single umbrella made it through. Bye, Schlatt. It was very funny seeing Mr. Beast lift the lid off Charlie's tin and immediately reel back in disgust, though. A total of 14 out of 50 people have now been eliminated, leaving 36 people. Honestly, that was good enough for me. Losing at any point going forward was already further than I was anticipating. We were fed our little thing of rations and left to wait again. It probably doesn't seem like long in Mr. Beast's video, but it was like 9 p.m. by the time we began the second real challenge. After being directed to choose a partner, James and I shook hands, ready to take on the next game as a team, and froze as it was revealed we had just chosen our own opponent. Another Squid Game tactic. I probably should have seen it coming, I just didn't expect the double up. The Beast staff revealed the next challenge as they rolled in a giant Jenga tower. Winner stays, loser walks. Unfortunately, the very first game of giant Jenga between KSI and AJ ended up taking literally 2 hours. Doing the math in our heads, we all kind of figured we probably didn't have the time to play Jenga for the next 30 hours. But just as AJ won, KSI hoisted him over his shoulders and ran out of the cube. No! Huge drama! Everyone was freaking out. AJ was stunned. No one knew what to do. Was that legal? Can you just carry people out of the cube? Jimmy had everyone take a vote, and pretty much everyone opted to bring AJ back in. Yes, out of the kindness of our hearts, but also out of fear of being manhandled. So since giant Jenga was a bust, production ended up scrambling to try and find like 12 sets of normal Jenga at midnight in North Carolina. A feat that seems impossible, but I feel like Jimmy could just call up the president of Jenga and have it all delivered via helicopter within 30 minutes. It took a bit, but the slightly larger than normal, yet still reasonably sized Jenga towers were all set up. As our game was going on, James and I ended up making a pact that whoever was eliminated would relay to the outside world that the other was okay, because we didn't have our phones, by the way. Our friends only knew we were in the Mr. Beast cube and haven't responded for 14 hours. Our game of Jenga was pretty intense. Eventually it got to the point where as I was watching James pull out a final piece, I realized there wasn't any left for me to safely remove. I'm about to be eliminated. And a flash of bliss washed over me. Sure, I'll be gone, but that's okay. I'll be set free into the outside world again. The cube is harsh, unforgiving. It's taken so many of my friends from me. The glass floor is hurting my butt. I'm ready to go now. And deeper into the trenches I went. James being eliminated meant I was moving on to Cube Day 2. What a miracle. Watching the rest of the Jenga games was like watching an active war zone. People were focusing, cheering, sweating, praying. Towers were falling one after the other at the feet of now eliminated players. It was brutal. And also still taking way too damn long, man. Can I go to bed? The last game left to finish was between Quackity and a popular Brazilian creator, Enaldino. Apparently, when it was revealed the challenge was Jenga, Enaldino turned to Quackity and admitted he was a Jenga pro. Quackity had never played. Not the situation you want to be in. Quackity half-jokingly asked Enaldino if he wanted to play rock, paper, scissors instead, to which he replied, no. which, you know, fair. But 3 hours into this single game, the two of them were neck and neck. Genuinely the most cracked round of Jenga possibly ever. Everyone in the cube was gathered around watching Quackity slowly pulling out the very last piece in this skeleton of a Jenga tower. Just as he was about to make it, Enaldino asked, "Rock, paper, scissors?" Quackity looked up at him.
Muito tarde.
It was over. Enaldino tried to hang in there, but in the end, he fell. 18 people were now eliminated. Alright, it's 3 a.m. Let's go to bed. I genuinely thought they would let us go back to our hotel rooms for the night, but... Man, now this is just great. I won myself a ticket to a night in the Mr. Beast cube, sleeping next to a bunch of people I barely know, and I was probably just gonna get eliminated first thing in the morning anyway. As I was getting ready for bed, Kai walked by. "Hey, I gotta check out your videos sometime." "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I lost a bet to Ludwig and he made me say that." "Oh, shit." "Okay, damn." "Oh, well, that makes falling asleep a bit easier. Thank God he only thought I had a huge ego for 19 hours straight. Crisis averted." In the morning, production had to prep for filming again, which meant they turned on every single light in the building, flash banging all of us. They were turned off, and then these loud-ass brrrr sounds from construction started blasting. They turned the lights on again a few minutes later, but this time in a crazy strobe light effect for some reason. After breakfast rations, Jimmy returned, pointed to the entrance hallway, and in walks I Show Speed. With too much energy for a group of people that just had the weirdest sleep of their lives. Alright, you guys have the chance to vote Speed into the cube to join you in challenges. The kind thing to do was to let him in, but we all just survived trenches no one could even understand. We were trauma bonded together. And also, it wouldn't be fair. The majority of us moved to the voting side of no. Admittedly, me too. Mainly because I was a bit scared of him. Speed looked at Kai. "At least shake my hand, man." "You're gonna pull me out." As the two of them argued about a friendly handshake, Ludwig stepped up. "I'll shake your hand, Speed." His hand now extended to Ludwig. The moment their hands touched, Speed started yanking Ludwig towards the outside world. We all started screaming and panicking. We couldn't lose one of our cute brothers like this. Ludwig was holding onto the support beam for dear life. Some of the guys managed to pull him back in, and as Speed walked out, unable to take any souls with him, he exclaimed, "This ain't the last time you're gonna see me, and I remember all y'all's faces." Alright, let's get started. Challenge 3 was steal or no steal. Basically a modified version of deal or no deal. Some cases have the word safe in them, others say eliminated. One person looks inside a selected case, and the other decides whether they want to steal it or no steal it. And also Howie Mandel was there. Hi Howie, big fan. People started getting eliminated one by one, others securing safety. Eventually, Ludwig was up at the podium asking if anyone wanted to volunteer to go up. At this point, the ratio of safe cases was very high, 60% in favor of safe. Figuring the odds would just get messier from there, I volunteered. Ludwig looked inside his chosen case, looked up, and told me it was safe. I knew mathematically I should steal the case, but I've been burned by math before. As I started hesitantly saying I was gonna steal, Mr. Beast suddenly burst out saying Ludwig's heart rate was spiking. By the way, he was wearing a heart rate monitor, which made me scared it was actually an elimination case, and he was excited at the idea of avoiding going home. So last minute, I decided to let him keep the case. It was the safest play. If it said eliminated, then good, I dodged a bullet. If it was safe, then at least I'm not actually eliminated yet. I just have to play again. Shit. It was now my turn to bring someone up. Even though I didn't want to pick a friend out of fear of getting them eliminated, more than that, I didn't want to be up there with someone I didn't know. I picked Quackity. He came up to the podium. I grabbed case number 2. It says safe. My plan was to tell the truth, but in the most unconfident and nervous way possible. I was deploying every bit of body language knowledge I could think of, making myself look as guilty as possible as he asked me various questions. We went back and forth for a bit until your eyes looked down as you said the case was safe, which indicates guilt. So I think you're lying. I'm not gonna steal it. Without a word, I shifted the case onto its back, unlatched it. Safe. It was worth sleeping in the cube! Oh my god, the relief, you have no idea. After everything finished, a bunch of people walked out, and unfortunately, Quackity ended up being one of them. 10 people left. I know it's a dog-eat-dog world inside the cube, but when you're left to sit with your fellow contestants for hours on end between challenges, waiting for Jimmy Beast to send you all through another round of cube stress, you really start bonding with the survivors. It was pretty sad watching them go. Hours passed until the Jimmy death bell struck again, and we were told to partner up once more. Alex and I had really gotten to chat and hang out together as the only girls left at this point, so we paired up. Everyone was blindfolded and told to sit tight until they were ready, which is ominous. The two of us were strategizing and figuring out each other's strengths and weaknesses for whatever was coming our way, only to be unblindfolded and see the entire cube transformed into a kitchen. It was a cooking battle. We're actually fucked. What? Alex started panicking, saying she can't cook for her life. We were freaking out. Then Mr. Beast brought out the judges. Professional competitive eater Joey Chestnut, Miranda Cosgrove, hi big fan, and Speed. Bottom two teams are eliminated. Time starts now. We ended up committing to mac and cheese with a slice of chocolate cake, under the fancier title of American Comfort Food. AKA the only two women left in the challenge can't cook and they're trying their fucking best. The judges walked around to check in on everyone, and eventually Speed was at our station. So when you all were voting to let me in, which side were you on? Well, originally we were on the side of no, because we were a bit intimidated, but we ended up switching to a yes at the last minute. Right, Jaiden? Yeah. I switched. Alright, cool. 'Cause you know I don't forget, right? Yep. Later on, during the challenge, Mac and Nolan from the Beast team came up to ask what we were making. At the time, I was grating up Feastables to sprinkle onto our cake for decoration, and I thought, oh, it would be funny to have them ask what we're making, and it's just their own brand of chocolate. So I was like, close your eyes and open your mouth, and gave Mac a piece of chocolate, and immediately, without chewing, he was like, is this Feastables? And I was like, yeah. And he kind of stood there for a second with his mouth still open, and Nolan was like, oh, he's allergic. And they both had to leave. Oh my god, guys, I felt so bad. I apologized so much when he came back. Max said it was fine and is a good sport about it, but I still have so much guilt about being such an idiot. Ludwig and Amixem presented first with their fried chicken and asparagus dish. The judges all really enjoyed it, giving them a total of 26 points, which is really unfortunate because I definitely thought Speed was gonna hold a bigger grudge against Ludwig and tank their score. We were up next, and thankfully they really liked our food too. Joey was the first to score us and ended up giving us a 10 out of 10. And in the moment, as a joke, I wanted to turn around and flip off Ludwig as a, friendly fake gloat, but I accidentally turned around and flipped off Amixem, and I felt so bad again. He was not the intended target, and now I was just being rude, and this challenge was going horribly. Not because of the cooking part. I've just been non-stop fumbling socially. We also got a total of 26, putting us at a tie with the French boys. But now, Logan Paul and Nick DiGiovanni were presenting. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but Nick is actually a goddamn chef. They even gave us all his own cookbooks as a helpful tip for the challenge, which is just a knife twist in my opinion. So yeah, they knocked it out of the park, got a 29. The judges were licking their plates. After them was Kai and AJ, who had a great presentation, but their food, not so much. They got a 16. After eating, Speed got up and started smashing the plates on the ground, and Logan Paul saw this and got really excited because he wanted to smash plates too. Without thinking, he ran out to join Speed, and we all shouted at him in panic. Confused at the sudden change in the air, Logan looked back at us before realizing he left the cube. To this day, none of us are truly sure if he did it for the content or it was a genuine accident. In his defense, the set was so cosmetically different that it really did feel like we weren't in the cube anymore. Either way, he content created too close to the sun, and even though he had a guaranteed spot in the finals, he was eliminated. The last team of Rubius and Spriter went up with their Spanish tortilla, but turns out Spriter is a huge fan of speed, so he made a special Thai dessert just for him that the other judges weren't allowed to eat, which is honestly hilarious. We all held our breath as the judges flipped through their scores. 22. Alex and I made it to the finals. I never in my life thought I was gonna be getting this far, and suddenly realized I need to actually think about what I would do if I won. I went into this thing not even knowing if there was a prize at all, and was now facing the reality that I could win the whole thing. Hours passed as the 5 of us sat together in the cube until Mr. Beast emerged for the final time. Someone was about to win $1 million for their subscribers, and it all came down to this last challenge. Honestly, among the group, there wasn't a single person I thought didn't deserve to win. Everyone left were good people who all wanted to do something really positive with the money. It was great getting to know them all over the course of 2 cube days, and I was really proud to be standing next to them in the finals. 5 briefcases were piled in the center, 1 for each finalist. We were to each take one, peek inside our chosen case, and within the next 10 minutes, discuss who to vote out. If you're voted out and your briefcase is empty, you're eliminated. But if you're voted out and your case has the $1 million inside, you win instantly. It was basically like Reverse Among Us. The first round started, we all grabbed a case, peeked inside. Holy shit, I grabbed the $1 million case round 1. I started shaking. I didn't know what strategy to use. I didn't know how to make myself look like I should be voted out. And during the discussion time, it definitely showed because I was really quiet and nervous the whole time. The 10-minute discussion wrapped up. We all unanimously wrote our votes down, and it fell into a tie between voting out Ludwig and somehow me. It could end right here. We had a few minutes to discuss again and recast votes, but Alex and Nick were able to figure out I voted for myself, so Ludwig was eliminated. The cases were reshuffled. We each grabbed one. I pulled it again. In that moment, I froze. Since I was in the hot seat last round, I was probably gonna fly pretty under the radar this time. Someone else is gonna be voted out, and I statistically will not see this case ever again. If I'm not voted out here, I basically lose. The second round began, and it was pretty much a blur from there. I was trying to talk more because being quiet last round got me found out, but was still flying too under the radar. Amidst trying to keep up with the conversation, strategize, and hold myself together, I couldn't find my win con. But with a few minutes left, Amixem said something that I think shifted the entire game. What are the odds Jaiden pulled the $1 million case twice? There it was. Gambler's fallacy, save me. Save me, gambler's fallacy. I couldn't mess this up. I don't know what to say to that one. Everyone's attention was now on me, and I could tell they were all thinking about what was just thrown into the ring. We all looked down at our papers. I wrote my name as quietly as possible, worrying the sound of the letters were gonna out me. Jimmy read them all out. Jaiden. Alex. Jaiden. Jaiden. They voted me out. I slowly walked to the middle of the podium with my briefcase. In that moment, I was the only one who knew what had just happened. Everyone leaned in as I unlatched the case and revealed the $1 million. I won! Confetti cannons blasted. Everyone immediately started congratulating me. All the eliminated contestants left in the green room ran out screaming and jumping around me in celebration. I started to tear up for some stupid emotional reason. So yeah, I won $1 million to give away to my subscribers. That is a Looney Tunes amount of money. First of all, top 5 all agreed that whoever won the $1 million would give the other 4 $100K each to do something for their subscribers too. So a total of $400K will be going to Ludwig, Alex Botez, Amixem, and Nick DeGiovanni. With the remaining $600K, I decided to put it towards paying for as many people's art degrees as possible. It's really scary going into the art field right now between the animation industry hitting their rough patches, AI threatening to take artist jobs. The overall career path is extremely intimidating and difficult to break into. I'd really like to encourage and make it easier for some of the up-and-coming artists by being able to send them through art school stress-free. I have no idea how to set it all up, but I'm currently working with as many qualified people as I have available to me to make it happen. As my and Mr. Beast's team figures it out, I'll keep you all updated through my Twitter. We'll get it sorted. I entered the Mr. Beast cube ready to just talk to my friends and screw up in the first challenge, but instead I was isolated from the world for 48 hours, watched my peers fall one by one in front of me, and left with $1 million for my subscribers. Thank you, Carl, for inviting me. Thank you to all my friends who made the cube so much more enjoyable. Thank you, Mr. Beast, for creating this incredible opportunity I can now use to support artists. Despite being put through cube trenches, I had a really great time. And of course, huge thanks to the Beast crew for making it all happen. It was something I'll never forget or experience ever again. Hopefully. If you're an artist currently enrolled in art school and are hoping to have some of your tuition paid for with the cube winnings, you can now apply through the form I'll have linked in the description and the comments of this video. The form will be available for a week starting the day this video is uploaded, so be sure to check the calendar and apply before it's closed. I assume there's gonna be a huge amount of applications we have to go through, so expect a few months wait before we announce the winners. Thank you for your patience. I'm not sure how many people we can financially help out because everyone's tuition will be vastly different, but I'm looking forward to going through your portfolios and hearing your stories. Thanks for watching, and thank you to my team for dropping everything to work on this sudden video jump scare. Alright, until next time, bye-bye. Some of you might know, James, Dom, Ross, Aaron, and I went on a tour back in October doing a show called Scribble Showdown. It was the first tour we've all been on, besides Aaron, because he didn't wait for us. The shows were all super fun, and we all enjoyed touring with each other a lot, and honestly, it was the most entertaining thing I've done in a while. But this video isn't about the shows. It's about the in-betweens. We had to perform in Boston, Brooklyn, Austin, San Francisco, Medford, Seattle, and Portland, all within 11 days. So you know that those off times are gonna get a little hectic while we're just trying to survive and not leave our souls behind. The first leg of the tour, we took flights to our destinations. Boston and Brooklyn had no out-of-the-ordinary stuff going on, besides the fact Ross, Dom, and I were super addicted to Pokemon Go and were spinning Pokestops left and right together on that grind. Don't worry, it only took 2 days for peer pressure to crack James down enough to download it and get addicted with us. We arrived in Austin on the 3rd, and this was our first completely free day. Ross and Aaron really wanted to get some Texan barbecue, so we all went to dinner at this little barbecue chain they heard was really good. Everyone got their food and were in heaven, except for me because vegan check. But honestly, it did look really good, and I was glad they were enjoying it. Afterwards, Aaron and James wanted to go to a card shop for Magic the Gathering cards since a new pack was coming out. So we headed over there, and one of the employees' names was Jojo, and he was a dog, and I miss him. The next day, we got into the van to head to the venue, and Ross just goes, "So, did anyone else have a rough night last night?" Turns out, Ross, Dom, and Aaron all got food poisoning from the barbecue. James and I were safe because I didn't eat any, and I don't know, I guess James is weird. The next free day we had was in San Francisco. We were a good 5 days into traveling, and some of us were running out of clean clothes to wear, so instead of finding a laundromat, we headed over to a Target nearby to just buy new ones. After shopping a bit, we noticed there was a huge arcade right next door, so of course, we went in. Aaron and Dom played some DDR, but what caught Ross and James's eyes was this big elaborate VR setup where the players are strapped into these adult baby walker looking things. I mean, anyone with eyes could tell this thing was jank as hell, but that just made it more essential to play. Ross asked the guy at the stand if they could play, which the guy said they needed arcade cards to scan, so they went and did that, and when they came back, the guy was finishing up working at the bumper car booth, looked over at us, and just walked out of the arcade and left.
Rude.
We got another person over and Ross and James got set up, and I think this video explains the whole thing. After the San Francisco show, we switched over to travel by tour bus, which we were all super excited for. There were 12 bunk beds, 2 lounge areas, a TV where we all played Smash on, and 1 bathroom. The only main rule was, you can't poop on the bus. I won't get into details, but technically, you can poop on the bus, but you essentially destroy it from the inside out. So no pooping on the bus.
This is the pinnacle of luxury. Given that information, we all got mild poop anxiety. As soon as you're told you can't poop within a certain window of time, it becomes your body's personal goal to aim for those hours and those hours only. Luckily, James, Dom, Aaron, and I were okay, but it hit Ross hard. Maybe it was the fact he got the worst case of food poisoning out of all of us, but he couldn't poop if his life depended on it. And it kinda did. He went 2 days without a single poop. And he was scared. By the time we got to Oregon, he was going crazy.
Guys, I've got to poop today. I don't know what I'm going to do.
We all checked into the motel rooms our tour manager Matt booked for us to shower and finally do laundry, and had a bit of time to spare. So, as the friends we are, we decided to dedicate it to trying to help Ross poop. Aaron shared some poop exercises he said always helped him, and I pulled up this song on YouTube my friend showed me that was titled Music That Makes You Poop. And with all variables combined, I think it was working.
Ross is really trying to poop right now.
You can't poop on the bus, dude. You gotta get it out before you get on the bus, because the septic tank can't handle the poop. Can only do urine, so you gotta poop before the bus takes off. Because if the bus takes off, you gotta wait for the next stop. So I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and have to shit in the bag and throw it out the window. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to litter. I want to be the big boy. I want to take a big.
After that whole ordeal, Ross, Dom, James, and I went out to catch some Pokémon. Aaron stayed in the bus to build some magic decks, but the area we were parked in was a bit sketchy. The laundry room sink in the motel had a marijuana in it. So Ross found a knife and we held it while catching a bunch of shroomish. It was well worth it because James, Ross, and I all found shiny Pokémon at the exact same time. By the time we got back, James and Aaron were really hungry. Ross, Dom, and I got Taco Bell, but we also all had that this morning, so James wanted to try and find something else to have, which was a mission failed. So he and Aaron went out to get Taco Bell, but by the time they walked over to it, only the drive-thru was open. They tried to just walk up to the window, but to no avail. They didn't have enough characteristics to pass as a car, so they had to turn to the only option they had. Call an Uber to go through the drive-thru in. It worked! So basically all of us had Taco Bell for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We were living like kings over here. In Seattle, we got to the theater, and Matt reserved another room for us to shower in at the hotel next to the venue. I wanted to wash my face, and Ross wanted to freshen up, so as we were walking out to go to the room, Matt grabbed us and said, "Look, when you walk in, don't talk to the concierge or anything. Don't even look at anyone. Just go straight to the elevator and head up to the room." So we're like, okay. We walked in and did exactly what Matt said. Didn't talk to anyone, didn't even breathe in anyone's direction. No oxygen was stolen. Just went over to the elevator, pressed the button, and then out of nowhere, the manager pops out of a mystery door right next to us that we didn't even know was a door and goes, "What room are you going to?" Dude, he was like an NPC in a video game that teleports in front of you to prevent you from going out of bounds. Ross and I were stunned and just went, 601? And the manager goes, "You're not the person who booked that room. I've known every guest in their respective rooms in this hotel since 1975. You're not allowed in there. No visitor policy." What kind of hotel has a no visitor policy? It's a hotel. Visitors is their business. So we went back to Matt and explained what happened. One of the managers at the theater went over to talk to the manager in the hotel because the hotel owns the venue. But the thing that was really annoying to us was that we were the ones who were performing at the venue, which directly affects the amount of rooms they sell. I should give them some slack though. To their credit, they did tell us they'd let one more of us go into the room if we paid a fee of $80. So, but the theater was really nice to us and the Seattle audience was great. Before each show, we had a VIP Q&A section, so when we finished that, we have like an hour before the actual show, and during that one in-between hour, there's a Mewtwo raid in Pokemon Go, which doesn't happen too often. So you already know that Dom, Ross, James, and I were frothing at the mouth. Oh my god, we gotta get that Mewtwo! After the Q&A, we all got up calmly, walked off stage, and when we were out of sight, literally bolted out the back door of the venue and ran down the street to a Mewtwo raid. By the time we finished it, there was a crowd of like 30 people also catching Mewtwo. Not people who watched our videos, just normal people who all just wanted a taste of the Neutron style. We all caught a Mewtwo and actually had time to get another before the show starts. So there was a march of 30 people just playing Pokemon Go, working together to get Mewtwo's, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever been a part of. Also, James caught a shiny 3-star totally all by himself. Ross definitely didn't need to help him, and made us all jealous. The tour was so fun. I couldn't have chosen a better group of friends to travel and do a show with. The team that helped us was amazing, and the shows were so fun to perform. Every city had an amazing audience, especially the ones where I won, and it was a really surreal experience. I really want to thank you for helping me get to this point, and I still can't believe I get to do this crazy, awesome stuff for a living.
So now you might be saying, man, that sounded like a great tour. I'm sad I missed it. Well, this end card is the one for you because we're actually doing 2 more Scribble Showdown tours. In July, we're going to Phoenix, San Antonio, Kansas City, Minneapolis, Chicago, Cincinnati, and Toronto, Canada. Then in October, we're hitting Los Angeles, Orlando, Atlanta, Nashville, Washington, Brooklyn, and London in the UK. So if you're in the area, why not stop by and see the show? Get tickets at scribbleshowdown.com, and we hope to see you there. Also, I'm recording this on my phone because I don't have my microphone right now. Ha!